Since the early 1900s, motor racing at the Music City in Nashville, Tennessee have gone hand in hand. And as we are here tonight, we say good evening and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the 2021 Elite Performance Industry Super Nationals live from iRacing's virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee. Good evening, I am your host, Taylor Burris, alongside my colleagues in the booth, Jacob Hicks and Terry Radford. Our producer tonight is Ryan Bauer with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. We are glad to have you with us here for the ride on Podium Esports and iRacing.com/live. Jacob, Terry, we are at one of the most profound short tracks in all of North America, and a lot of money is on the line for these drivers here tonight.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. You got $1,500 on the line for the race winner, and it just gets smaller and smaller from there. Second place only gets, I think, $250 at the end of the night. So there's a big pay gap between first and second place. You're going to want to wind up in that first spot. Otherwise, your pockets are going to be a little lighter when you leave this racetrack.
Certainly is, but of course we have to get ready for qualifying, and Terry, only 30 drivers are guaranteed a spot to move on into tonight's feature race. There is no LCQ. It's just run the fastest 2 laps that you can, and then it's a chance to compete in the feature. So we could even have a couple of drivers not make it to the feature because they just weren't fast enough.
Yeah, with I think 38 people coming out here for this race, 8 people are going to go home at the end of qualifying. So it's going to be very key for them to get in there. I'm happy to be here. I lived like 2 minutes away from this racetrack growing up as a kid. Got my Tennessee swag on. It's racing time in the Music City, boys.
It certainly is, and let's go ahead and take a deeper dive here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Super Speedway as we zoom in here on Google Earth. Jacob, tell us a little bit more about this special historic track.
This track opened in 1904. This track more than 100 years old, a little over half a mile in length. The bankings 18 degrees in the corners. Straightaway is relatively flat at 3 degrees. It's not like Bristol where it's really high up there. But this track isn't necessarily the flattest thing in the world either, like when we go to Martinsville or go to New Hampshire. There definitely is enough banking to this racetrack where you're going to notice it when you get down into the corners.
You certainly will indeed as we take a look at the fast stats right there. Of course, the first races were held here were the original cars, and then, of course, a little bit of motorcycle racing, and even, of course, horse carriage racing was held at this circuit before we get to know the cars and stars that we've known throughout the decades to win at this track. I mean, you have drivers such as Sterling Marling, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Richard Petty to be some of the big names in the past to have won at the hallowed grounds of Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Terry, I mean, you got to have some great memories at this track being just a few blocks away.
When you hear these cars fire up all throughout the town, it's so fun. And when they actually have the fair open, when you go down there and they have the big Nashville Fair, they always bring out all the stars. You'll see Sterling Marlin walking around out there. Darrell Waltrip will come down, Michael Waltrip will be around, and then you just hear these late models kick it up and go. And it's a feeling like no other when you drive past this track. But with the history of it comes the people that complain about this track being there. It is in a very well-occupied area, and unfortunately, people don't tend to like that too much. So I hope we bring this back on the NASCAR schedule, but tonight's going to be interesting.
It's certainly is. As we take a look at the race analysis for tonight, of course, we talked about it. 2 qualifying laps for the top 30 will advance. 8 drivers will go home. Tonight's race will be 200 laps with a mandatory pit stop at the halfway point here tonight. No quick repairs, open setup, so it is run what you brung. And we have 3 attempts of a green-white checker to just bump up the excitement to determine who will come away with those $1,500 here later tonight. A lot of heavy hitters are coming out, and one of those drivers who will be out on the track is car number 17. Jonathan Atkins will be the first driver to qualify as he rockets off of turn number 4 to start his first flying lap. As he works his way through turns 1 and 2. The banking here is so unique. You want to try to run that middle groove as you come off the middle of turns 1 and 2. Down turns 3 and 4, running towards the bottom is the best opportunity. And as he comes off of turn number 4 for his first official time lap, he sets it up to an 18.012. Let's see if he can improve on that as he comes out of turn number 2 for the final time down the back straightaway. That beautiful purple, gold, and white Chevrolet Camaro as he comes off of turn 4 for the final time. Jonathan Atkins will not improve that much. An 18.029 will be his second attempt. The Carolinas Club driver did not improve on that. We will see what he can do next time. Next up on the track is Kevin Adam. And Jacob, what do we see down there?
Well, Kevin Ammon, he's going to give him what he's got. You just see what he's got under the hood. Coming through 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to set a relatively decent lap as he comes up off the corner. Gets to the stripe, an 18.9, so he'll fall to P2 on lap 1. We'll see what he can do on lap number 2. And this will get a lot more fun as we get later on in the race. As he gets really loose off 2, we get on board with him. Going to be fun once we get towards the end of the line, and you've got folks that are on the outside trying to get their way in. Comes across the stripe with an 18.1. He will be in the second spot. Not the greatest run in the world for the driver of the 07.
Certainly not for the New Jersey driver. We'll see if he can improve on that. But next up on the track is driver of the number 7NY. Of course, none other than Baldwin and Terry. Take a lap for us around here.
Yeah, he's cutting around there. He's kind of running that middle line. When he comes off the exit, you see him still cocking the wheel a little bit to the right. That's a smart way to get around here. It sets you up for the entrance of the corner. First lap, he ran an 18.07, which you can see he's loose off the exit. There's a couple bumps over here when you exit out of these very, very tricky corners coming off there. I believe he should improve right here, and yeah, he does. An 18.089.
He will sit in the second spot for the Carolinas Club driver in that Ford Mustang. Next out on the track, car number 21. That's going to be Charlie Beal, who is now working his way in that number 5 as he's completing his run here tonight. First lap will be in the books for the Virginia's native driver as he comes off of turn number 4 for the first time. He will set a time of an 18.455. Not the best time he needs here this late in the going as he comes off turn 2 in that Ford Mustang down the front back straightaway, heading into turns 3 and 4. Runs up a little wide through the corner. He's going to have to dive it back off at turn number 4, but as he comes across the line, he will improve, but not enough to improve position. An 18.251. Next out on the track is Kyle Bordera. Let's take a look, see what he got, Jacob.
Yeah, it looked like on that last run that he just couldn't really hold the bottom down in the corners. The thing would just wash up on him. As here comes Bourdreau sliding it through 3 and 4. He's able to get it down to that yellow line. He comes up off the corner, sets his first lap in 18.097. So a solid lap on lap 1. We'll see where that puts him here on lap 2. Right now he's P4 out of the 5 that have qualified so far. Coming through 3 and 4. 18.01 is the time to beat. He comes off the corner, hits the stripe, and Kyle Bourdreau will set an 18.2. He goes slower, and he sits P4 right now.
Our first Canadian drivers on the track now as we now go on board with one of our first in-car cameras as well as in the sim. It is going to be Cade Brown.
I want to touch what he did coming to the green right there. That was massive. He got an awesome jump off the very tip top of this racetrack, got up against the wall, powered it back down, and put some heat in those tires, scrubbed a little bit off, He's going to come across the line with an 18.1 right there, puts him in the P5 position, and he comes across this lap here. He's painting the line perfectly and just doing everything he has to do to kick himself into the corner, give him the momentum off the exit, and here's the time he's going to put up there. 18.2, he improves, but he's going to stay right there in that position.
Tough break for Cade Brown. Of course, Cade is hailing from Texas, so he will be trying to see if he can bring home the cash here. Next up is the car number 26 of Jack Brown, who will be out on the track. Jack Brown is, of course, from the Virginia's area. In that beautiful number 26 Chevrolet Camaro, he will start his first flying lap with an 18.172 currently. That will just put him up for the 6th position as he comes off of turn 2 for the final time and works through turn 3 and 4. Has a nice smooth groove through there. Let's see if he can improve as he comes out of turn number 4 for the final time. He does not, to an 18.197. Next on the track is Josh Claudel.
Yeah, so he'll bring it down in through turn 1. So we'll see what Caudle can do here as he comes around, hits the back straightaway for the first time. We'll see what that 13 machine can do. Brings it down into 3 and 4. Poor entry. That thing really went up the racetrack as he got to turn 3. He'll come up off the corner at an 18.2 on lap number 1. So he is 7th out of the 8 drivers that have gone so far. He'll try it again here through 3 and 4. Let's see if he can hold it down to the inside line better this time. He can. Brings it up off the corner. And Caudle will set an 18.219, so slower than his first lap. He's going to be P7 right now out of the 8 that have taken the time.
First Pontiac out on the track as we see. Now next up is the other Canadian, Curtis Crutchley. Terry?
Yeah, Curtis did a great job right here. I'm enjoying what these guys are doing. They have different lines that they're running coming to the green. You see him coming here right now. He's going to complete his first lap. Oh, he's sliding. But he puts an 18.0 on the board, just to P2. Loose is fast, and he really did it. Nashville's more of a technical area. When you come off the banking of the corners, you're going to slip and slide, and it's who's going to hold it. He does have the McConey setup shop on there, so he got the best setups for his victories. He's going to clock it, and that's going to be an 18.072. That puts him right there in P2.
Certainly is, as he is in that Kia Sorento design number 27. Next out on the track is car number 32, Trevor Edwards, who will now see if he can have what it takes to take home the pole position here tonight in that Chevrolet Camaro. First time as he comes across the line, an 18.017, good enough for P2, as we are now working off of turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying for the Mid-South Club driver. As he works through turn 3 and 4, nice smooth line out of turn 4 as he comes across the line at 18.053. So, Jacob, it seems like those first laps is the critical one to set down as we see Blaine Edwards out on the track.
Yeah, here comes Edwards. Of course, his first lap technically is a 39-minute lap time, but we're just going to ignore that for now. He slides it up off turn number 2, a little sideways out of the 72, dives it down into 3 and 4, runs not as close to the yellow line as some others have done, slides it again up off the corner, an 18.1. That thing might just be a little too loose on him. As he brings it around through 1 and 2 on his second lap, that thing steps out on him again. He's able to keep it straight down the backstretch to turn 3. And Bladen just going to try and hang on to that thing. It just doesn't seem like the handling is there for him. Brings it up off the corner, an 18.033. That's going to put him into the top 3, I do believe, here. Great second lap.
Certainly is for the Club Florida driver. Next up, Terry, I believe the Kings entered the building as Justin Elvis has joined the circuit in that number 4.
Yeah, come off the toilet back to Nashville. The Music City is where the King is rocking. It's so far doing a good job holding the speed down there, riding on board with him now. He's washing up the racetrack. I'm seeing these guys do this, and I'm kind of curious because those guys who are running up there, it puts an 18.8 on the board. When they go all the way up there to that second groove, it's been a lot more difficult for them to get the power mashed down through the center and the exit. But down the front straightaway, he's doing a marvelous job coming down here. He washes up once again. This time, I don't see him improving there. And, it's an 19.0, going to be the 12th fastest on the board.
Tough break for Justin Elvis. Next out on the track is car number 41, Mario Ecrolani in that number 41 Chevrolet Camaro, as he is now completing his first lap from the New England region, as he's going to see if he can improve his lap time through turn 3 and 4 for the first time at the race pace qualifying speed. Out of turn 4, his first lap will be an 18.266, good enough for P12 currently at this moment. As he comes out of turn 1 and 2 for the final time, he'll work down the back straightaway, tries to get down to the bottom of the racetrack, goes a little high, cuts down to the yellow line as he comes off at turns 3 and 4. Across the line, does not improve, an 18.297. Next out, car number 80, Jacob Harberts.
Yeah, so here comes Harberts to start his first lap in that 80 machine, brings it around through 1 and 2. We'll see what he can do in his qualifying time. Right now, we've had 13 drivers set a lap time thus far. Everybody within 0.2 of a second. Lap 1 on the board, Harberts, an 18.035, just a hair faster than Bladen Edwards. He'll take P4 for the time being. Here he comes down the back straightaway for his second lap. Let's see what he can do here. Harberts puts it back on the gas through 3 and 4. He'll come across the stripe and set a 17.996. First one to break the 17-second marker, Jacob Harberts, P1.
Beautiful attempt by Harberts, as we will see from the Virginia's Club. And next out on the track is Stephen Hassett in that number 9.
Didn't think we'd see somebody break the 17 mark this fast in the qualifying. A good run for him, but Stephen Hassett doing a good job so far as he goes off. Time is deceiving on the racing surface. We'll tell you where he goes when he crosses the line. Coming around through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Going to put an 18.499 on the board. That's going to move him back just a tad bit. He's going to be in the 14th position when he comes across this time. Did not improve. 14th is where Stephen Hassett's going to be.
Certainly. Indeed. Next up is going to be car 67. Timmy Holmes is now out on the racing circuit, as we will see. Actually, no, my apologies. Not Timmy Holmes. Sean Hayes is next out on the track in car 49, as we watch him work his way in that number 1 Chevrolet Camaro from the Carolinas Club in that beautiful pink and purple paint scheme. And as he comes off a turn 1 to complete his lap time for the first time in 18.137, good enough for P9, and he's going to go ahead and call it.
So that'll roll Jimmy Holmes out. I don't know if he knew that he had a second lap, but I guess just one and done for him. So here's Holmes. He'll take the green flag on his first lap, bringing it through 1 and 2 in that 67 machine. Rolls it down the back straightaway, headed for turn number 3. Holmes washes it up the racetrack a little bit, gets it down toward the bottom though on exit. And his first lap is an 18.016. That's going to put him P3. He comes up off the corner. Let's see what he can do through 3 and 4. Goes up, runs a similar line, cranks it down up off the corner. Let's see where Holmes goes. An 18.012. He ties Jonathan Atkins for P2.
Beautiful attempt right there. Next on the track is car 75, Landon Huffman.
Been watching all these drivers come out, and they're going completely against the wall. And the guys who have been the most aggressive so far, like the 75's been off the exit of the corner, just getting back to the gas as quickly as possible, swinging that back in now. Doing a great job. 18.0 right there for Landon. Look how focused he is in there with all them racing helmets. And he's just jiggling at that wheel, ain't he? All the way around the back straightaway, down into the corner. He's just going to keep sawing at it. You see he turned it right just a little bit to get her to go left. And that's what you need here as he gets all the way to the wall. 18.0. He did not improve on that time. It's going to move him to P3.
Great attempt by Landon Huffman. Next on the track is Kyle Martinson in that number 07 from the California Club, as he will try to work his way through in that Chevrolet Camaro as he comes through turns 3 and 4 on his first qualifying lap, as he tried to hold on. And across the line, it will be an 18.160, good enough for P13 right now. Will he improve next time by? So far, he's going to get a nice clean line through the middle of turns 3 and 4 as he works off of turn 4 for the final time in qualifying. He will not improve at 18.175. Next car on the track, Alex McCullum.
Let's see what he can do. Alex McCollum in that 17 car brings it around through 1 and 2. Slides it up a little bit in the corner, but gets the power down on the exit. Of course, his number in game says 17, but it sure looks like the car says 1. He's going to rim ride it. Paul Larson line here through 3 and 4. Cranks it down on exit. His first lap in 18.7. That'll make him second slowest as of now. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. Brings it down the back straightaway. Headed for turn 3. Nails the entry this time. Gets it down low. McCollum might have a flyer here. Brings it up off the corner. Low sideways. Brings it to the stripe in a 17.919. Tell you what, he sandbagged that first lap. New pole sitter. It's Alex McCollum.
Method to madness indeed, as another fast driver now is on the track, Ryan Matthews, Terry.
If I'm Ryan Matthews, I'm looking at what that man did before him. I'm going, I'm going to get him to the wall too. He doesn't. He goes back down to the bottom. But what an incredible lap that he put down there. That was a record. But he comes off 3 and 4 right here. His first lap, he's going to put it on the board at a 17.9 as well. And he did completely opposite of what he did. He's going to jump in P number 2. He's going to continue to hustle this thing. He might be on another smoking lap. He's only 5/100ths off of the pole so far here. Ryan Matthews doing a great job off of turns 3 and 4. Can he improve? No, just a tad bit slower.
17.971 from Ryan Matthews, a great attempt. That next car out on the track is car number 61 from the state of Texas. It's Chad Miller in that beautiful Chevrolet Camaro with the gold and black flame job. As he works his way down the back straightaway for his first attempt of qualifying, he'll dive it down to the bottom of the racetrack, then washes up a little bit, takes a little bit of a higher line to build up that momentum. As he comes across the line, his first time is 18.301, good enough for P20 at the moment. He'll still stay on the high side of the racetrack as he comes down the back straightaway for the final time. Will he dive it down to the bottom? The answer will be yes. Through the middle of 3 and 4, he will go in that 61. Out of turn 4, loses it, and he does improve to an 18.208, good enough for P18, but not what he needed. Next out on the track is car 88, Kyle Meyer.
That got scary for Miller. There's no doubt about it. It certainly, I'm sure, not what he wanted that thing to do. Here comes Kyle Meyer, bringing it around through 3 and 4. This will be to take the green flag, I do believe. No, that was his first lap at 18.066. He'll take P10 on lap 1. Let's see what he can do here on lap number 2. Wheels it off the corner. Down the back straightaway as we go on board. You can see how much he's turning that wheel to the right, getting in. Before cranking it back to the left and now to the right on exit. Meyer hits the stripe in 18.087. Slower on his second lap. He's P10.
Car on the track in the Ford Mustang, car number 2. It is a big birthday day for Andrew Navarro.
Yeah, Andrew Navarro's mom. Happy birthday to his mama out there. He's going to put a good lap for him. I know one guy's going to take every little ounce out of this machine. It's going to be Andrew Navarro. Watched him race a lot here. It comes across the line for his first lap. 18.067. He's going to go back down, wash up the track just a little bit, get that run off the exit of the corner. Speed right now about 133 is the top that he hit. Goes down to about 95 miles an hour and guns it back through the center. Coming off the exit of the corner, he runs 18.060. He improves into a 10th.
Next out on the track is car number 85 in a Corvette-styled super late model. Lee Norton is now out on the racetrack in that breast cancer awareness number 85 peak machine. As he'll work through turn 3 and 4, taking the higher line through the corner to build up the momentum he needs out of turn 4 on his first attempt. He will go to an 18.836, so we'll see if he improves on that. And as he comes out of turn number 2 for the final time down the back straightaway, has a good line, building up the time he needs. And as he rockets off a turn number 4 for the final time, let's see what his qualifying time is. He moves it up to an 18.095, good enough for P14. John Olette now is on the track.
Yeah, that was danger zone on that first lap for Lee Norton. Brings it up to P14. He looks relatively safe to make it, but guys like Justin Elvis, Stephen Hassett, Mario Ercolani, those guys, yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to make it or not. Here's John Ouellette, though. Let's see what he can do. Coming through 3 and 4 to set his first lap. Brings it up off the corner. Let's see what the scoreboard says. An 18.116. That'll put him in P16. Not really ideal, but we'll see what he can do here on lap number 2, because remember, the bottom 10, or the bottom 9, I guess, or 8, since there are only 38 people here, go home. We only take the top 30. So if you're too slow, you're gone, and this second lap doesn't improve. An 18.2 on lap 2, so Ouellette will stay in P16.
Tough break. Next out on the track is David Palenz in that number 33 Camaro, Terry.
Yeah, David's got the old Great Ghost theme going on that 33. Beautiful machine coming out through 3 and 4 to complete his first lap. It looks like he's on, man, he almost had to change his guitar strings, about ripped the fiddle off right there. Getting around that corner, thought he was going record. Comes down the back straightaway. Sends it down into turn number 3. Hopefully he doesn't get loose this time. Got a little bit under the paint. He's going to come around 18-2. I don't think that's going to make him safe.
A tough one indeed for him right now as the next car out on the track. As we take a look at the next car on the track, that's RS Center in the car right there, Toyota Camry from the Georgia Club. Remember, the top 30 move on, so we are getting closer to see our first set of eliminations here pretty soon. As Center comes across the line, he goes to a 17.931, good enough for P number 2. Out on the board, can he improve on this as he comes down the back straightaway in that number 10 or 110? Toyota Camry out of turn 4 for the final time as he comes across the line. Does not improve, an 18.360. Terry, we are right on the clips of seeing who will be eliminated here in the next 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah, next 2 or 3 cars, we're going to see who's going home and who's not. Everybody's starting to get a little antsy here. We have a couple cars to come out that are doing, the high line method. I would have thought that the guys would have looked at the current pole sitter right now and said, hey, he ran the high line. He basically sandbagged an entire lap. So he's going to come across the line. Tyler's going to have an 18.136 on the board. His second lap, they're not typically getting faster throughout these sessions unless they scrub some heat off of them. It's going to come turns 3 and 4, and he's going to, that time he improves 18.6, but that's awful close in 21st. He's going to be sweating.
It certainly is. Jacob, we're about to see our first elimination here, possibly next car by, as we see Jonathan Schaefer out on the track in the number 20.
Right now, Justin Elvis sits in 29th, so we've got another car to go before anybody gets eliminated, since this is car number 30 that's taking a lap. So here comes Schaefer through 3 and 4. We'll see what lap number 1 can do for the driver of the 91. Brings it across an 18.082. That's going to put him in P14. It's a lot safer than Shattuck was at. Let's see what he can do here through 3 and 4. Slides it up the racetrack a little bit. Cranks it back down on the exit, almost diamonding the corner. Brings it to the line with an 18.175. Slower on lap 2. He'll be P14.
And now we are in car number 19, the 31st car to take time here today. Marquise Smith in from the Northwest Club. That's as we get ready to go. And he will show his first qualifying lap here as he comes off of turn 3 and 4. He has to beat at 18.84. And as he comes across the line, he will, bumping Justin Elvish out of contention for the feature race tonight. He'll move up to P15, and he wants a little more, but I think he might have tapped the wall off of turn 2, so I don't know if this qualifying attempt will count for him. And as he comes out of turn number 4, 18.205. He does not improve, but Justin Elvish is eliminated, Jacob, as Joel Smith is now out on the track.
So this will be do or die here for Stephen Hassett. He's the one that's on the cut line. As here comes Smith down the back straightaway to set his first lap in that blue 24 machine. Brings it up off the corner to the start-finish line, and Smith sets an 18.051. So that bumps Hassett out. P11 for Smith on his first lap. Let's see where he goes on lap number 2, if he can get anything more out of that car. Wheels it in through 3 and 4, almost caught the apron on entry, stays right around the yellow line, brings it around off the corner, and an 18.095, doesn't get any faster. P11 for Joel Smith.
Seems to be in safe position now as Brett Suggs and his Lexus will come out onto the track, Terry.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see Alexis out here. He has the potential to knock out Mario right there in the 41. Very awesome, very awesome. And yeah, look, he's racing VR, showing us the camera on the inside. You can see everything he sees, everything he's doing across the board as he comes out of 3 and 4. His first lap's going to be a flat flyer at an 18.0. That's going to virtually lock him into this show this evening as he comes for his second lap. He's right now on pace to improve if he could just get through 3 and 4 without scrubbing speed off of this car. Gets a little wiggle out of it, and that one right there, 18.1, no improved. He's going to be P number 12.
So after that, your top 23 are pretty much locked in for tonight's feature race. The next car out on the track is Grayson Ward in car number 9, that Chevrolet Camaro. He is trying to knock out Charlie Beals in the 21. He's working down the back straightaway to complete his first flying lap here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Out of turn 4 for the first time, he'll come across the line. He will get a lap time of a 17.976. Good enough for the 4th position, and Charlie is going to be out of this race here tonight as he works through turn 3 and 4. Can he improve on his lap time? The answer will be as he comes out of turn number 4, no, an 18.05, as now Weston Ward will now go on to the racetrack in the 5.
So here's Weston Ward. There are 4 cars left, including Ward. So the top 25 are locked in, and if he's 25th or better, he's all right. So on the line, on the bubble, is Chad Miller. He's got to beat an 18.208, Ward does, in order to knock himself in for now. Really, he's got to get an 18.1 or better to lock himself into the show. Brings it off the corner, completes lap 1 at 18.2. He qualifies 33rd out of 35. Got to put something together here on lap number 2. Wiggles it down the back straightaway. Here's Ward. Through 3 and 4. Weston Ward needs some help. He gets slower. Weston Ward will not qualify.
Tough break for that number 5 as the next car on the track is Dylan Bates in the number 12, or actually in car number 91 in that Chevrolet Camaro, as he works off of turn number 1 at his first attempt of a flying speed record here. Let's see if he can pick it up a little bit as he comes out of turn number 4 for the first time here. He will then move to a 17.983. That will put Chad Miller out and Josh Cottle right on the crisp bit of the bubble right there for 30th position as we work and see will he, and he will cross the line, and that's an 18.071. As we will take a look at the results, that is your race here. So as we wait for the official results, after we make sure everything is good to go, 6 drivers are going home: Chad Miller, Charlie Beals, Mario Ecrolani, Weston Ward, Stephen Hassett, and Justin Elvis will not start today's race. But here is your starting lineup for tonight's 200-lap feature. Alex McCullum with a 17.920 will be your pole sitter, followed by RS Center in second, and then Ryan Matthews, Grayson Ward in fourth. Dylan Bates will start in 5th, followed by Jacob Purvis. As the rest of the field continues on, there you'll see the great lineup that we have here tonight. Jacob, a lot of excitement going on here.
So Cottle is the cut line. Josh Cottle gets in the big show. How close was it? 4 1,000ths of a second between Cottle and Chad Miller. 4 1,000ths is the reason that Cottle is racing, and Chad Miller is going home empty-handed. And everybody you see there not starting. Tyler Payne did not qualify. Ed Kosick is there. Race control, so of course he's not going to race.
Same thing as well with Tyler Payne. So those are going to be the people up in the booth to make sure that all the drivers out on today's race will be respectful, race hard, and race clean throughout the duration of tonight's race. A lot of heavy hitters here tonight, Terry. Who are some of the drivers that you're going to be watching out for tonight's race?
Well, I don't want to take the low-hanging fruit here, but the pole sitter was pretty good. I thought old McCullum did a great job working the high side. He did a lot of good things around the racetrack. I'd keep an eye on Andrew Navarro, too. I've watched him race a lot of good things over the time here with you guys calling these races, and every time Andrew Navarro's in the field, he finds his way to the front. He's like the Iron Man. Every time you count him out, he comes driving back through the field. It's going to be an interesting race, I can tell you that much.
Certainly is. And Jacob, I got to go to you as well. Some of the drivers that you watched in practice and now qualifying and here for the warm-up, who are going to be the ones you're watching? Because it's not a 2-lap sprint race. This is a 200-lap endurance race here at the short track in Nashville. What can you expect to be the ones to watch?
I'll watch one driver in particular. Landon Huffman in that 75. In qualifying, his 2 qualifying laps were pretty much identical. They were both really, really fast. He's going to be starting P8. He always has a way to kind of lurk around in these kind of races and be there at the end. I'm taking the 75 all the way. He's taking the $1,500 at the end of this thing.
We will see who will take the $1,500 here tonight, as some of the biggest names in short track competition here tonight will be battling it out for the next 200 laps. And gentlemen, I want to go to you first, Terry. The importance of tire conservation. Yes, we do have a midway race break to where drivers can be able to come down pit road and make that mandatory tire change. But still, 100 laps on a set of tires with how hard you're wanting to be racing, it's going to be a bit of a balancing act, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to come out flying out the gate like Michael Jackson and Thriller. You just want to be out there. You be calm, cool, and collective, kind of like people playing on Broadway. See, I got you there. A little music reference here tonight. You want to go out there and just play it easy. Strum the guitar like Toby Keith or George Strait. You don't have to go out there flying like crazy. And these drivers know this. These are some of the best in short track racing. Some of the best across the board. I mean, I've watched these guys go out here and race Nashville. I've seen them race Martinsville, Bristol, places like that, and they've done an incredible job. They know they have 100 laps on the tires, and they know they have to make them last. You also still need to be fast. It's going to be fun. $1,500 on the line. I'm wrecking my mama for that kind of money.
Well, hopefully we don't see you wrecking anyone here tonight, because you'll be up here with us safe and sound as we see warm-up is underway here. And pretty soon we will see who will battle it out and win here. And speaking of this, while we're getting ready for the race, we got ourselves our first special guest with us, Landon Huffman, who will be joining us. Trying to get him all set up here with his microphone and everything. We have to make sure he's all hooked up, ready to go.
Isn't technology great, guys?
It's lovely. Our wonderful producer, Ryan, is just trying to make sure we're all good to go and make sure we don't have any mess ups as we get things going. There we go. And here he is, Landon Huff. Well, you know what? Let's see who else we can talk about, because the great thing about super late model racing is all the great manufacturers that we see some of these drivers running out here. I mean, we saw from Chevrolet, Camaros, and Ford Mustangs and normals to Toyotas, Lexus, and even Kia and Corvettes out on the track. And that's one of the great things, as we now have Landon Huffman with us. Landon, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
We're doing wonderful. How about you? How are you feeling going into tonight's 200-lap feature?
I guess we'll find out about 50 laps in. I think we're pretty good. I just think you're basically setting up for 200-lap runs because we get tires at halfway. So not really any strategy involved. It's pretty much 200-lap races, and then I think it's really going to be really hard to pass with this new tire model. With this car, they've added a lot of grip, so it's made it really hard to pass. So I think whoever's up front, if they have decent speed, should be able to stay up there. But it should provide good racing. Nashville's if you got a set that can roll the bottom pretty well, then usually it provides some good side-by-side racing. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. We got all but one of our total advantage cars in the race, so we'll just have to see what we can do at the end of 200.
Now, Landon, you do have a lot of real-world experience racing in super late models and other forms of motorsports. That experience that you bring to tonight, how critical will that be, even with the latest updates and the setups that will be required to win here tonight at Nashville?
Yeah, I think the majority of the guys that you'll see up front do have real-world experience, but there's a lot of guys that don't, and those guys are good racers too. So I think racecraft in general transfers, but I think that's one of the cool parts about our service is, if you learn how to race on iRacing, a lot of the same things, transfer to the real world and vice versa as far as racecraft and decision making and all that stuff. The cars don't necessarily drive the same all the time, but the racecraft is very, very real. So I think it'll definitely help. It may give us an advantage on some of the guys, but also these guys that have been racing on iRacing for years, they're right in the mix as well. So.
Well, Landon, good luck out there starting in P8, and we will see you possibly later on in tonight's events.
Sounds good. You guys have fun.
That's Landon Huffman in the number 75, starting P8. Next up, we're going to have Jacob Hitz talk to Cade Brown, who is joining us now as we get Cade all set up. Jacob, take it away.
All righty. I think we're good. Yes. All right. So, Cade, starting, let's see, P25. So you're toward the back of the grid. It's going to be a long process for you to go from the back to the front, but you have a long time to get there in 200 laps. How do you think you're going to navigate this race?
Yeah, definitely not how I wanted to qualify. Plan is just stay out of wrecks and just slowly work our way up. Just keep the tires under it.
Now, I've got a question about the VR headset. Since I don't use one, you obviously do since you're wearing one right now. How much of a difference does it make compared to just staring at one monitor, staring at 3 monitors, to have the VR headset on while you're driving the race car?
It definitely feels like you're more in the car. I really like it. Graphics aren't as good, but it's a different way to do it.
Well, best of luck to you here tonight, 200 laps, and we'll see if you can get a little cash at the end of this night as well. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cade Brown starting P25 in the number 99 tonight here from Nashville.
It's going to be exciting to see what he can do here starting in that P25. And it's going to be interesting, Jacob, thinking about this because he has to work his way through and pretty much try to be a bottom feeder. I mean, you can run the outside lane, but as we heard from Landon, the bottom lane is going to be the preferred line.
Almost like every short track known to mankind, the bottom is your friend, and if you're on the outside, get to the inside as quick as you can because you're going to lose a lot of spots up on the high side. Bristol's kind of the exclusion to the rule because they broke Bristol, but for the most part, if you're at a short track, you're going to want to be right down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Certainly indeed. Next up, Terry Radford will sit down with Luke Baldwin, and we'll see how he's going to be doing out there tonight. He's currently P11 in the time charts for warm-up.
Yeah, Luke, man, how you feeling about this race tonight?
Man, I'm pumped, super excited. I came in just wanting to make the race, and that's what I did. So, really excited.
Do you have a shot to go out there and win that $1,500? And if you do win it, where are you taking it?
Man, I hope so. I'm not really sure, but I mean, it's definitely a goal for sure. I would love to win it, but as of right now, I'm just trying to run my own race, come out with the clean car.
If you didn't know, a little track fact about here, you're about 15 blocks from the virtual Broadway. I'm sure if I won that $1,500, I'd be up and down there cheering for my Preds. What's the car feel like for you out here? Everybody talks about the bottom being the main groove that you're going to be in. Can you work the middle section to get the bite off to maybe go make some passes?
Oh man, 100%. Just if you pinch them just the right way, you'll get a run off. You can definitely run the middle. But yeah, the car feels great. Thanks to Elite Performance Industries. It's amazing setup.
Well, I look forward to seeing you come through here and driving through the middle of the lane. You'll give us something to talk about up here in the booth, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That, of course, was going to be Luke Baldwin. We might have a couple of more drivers coming back. Next up is driver starting in P22 in car number 29 is Kyle Bordeaux. Kyle, starting towards the back of the field tonight, but still within a shot to maybe have a good run here. Your thoughts going into tonight's race?
Yeah, it's just going to be patient, really. This is a long way to go. You don't got a lot of incidents to spare. You just try to stay away from the mess early and be there at the end, I think.
You mentioned stay away from the messes. Do you feel like tonight will be a race where we'll see a couple of incidents throughout the race, or do you think it'll be a little bit of a calm, procedural race towards the end of the race?
30 laps driving on edge for 200, or 30 cars driving on edge for 200 laps. There's going to be mishaps. It's got to happen.
All right. Well, Kyle, we look forward to seeing what you can do out there on the racetrack. You have a pretty good run going on so far in practice. Explain the difficulty of running these super late models here at Nashville compared to any other short track that is on the iRacing service.
You got the bump between 1 and 2 that when you hit that, it shoots you up. On exit, you're always trying to get power to the wheels and keep things together without spinning them too bad. And there's a lot of challenges here.
Well, Kyle, good luck to you out there. That's Kyle Bordeaux in car number 29, who starts 22nd here tonight. Might be talking to him. And we have one more driver before we get things kicked off. It is Jonathan Schaefer, who is starting in the number 20 car and starting in 18th position, actually the 91 Toyota Camry, and he is with Jacob Hitz.
So, Jonathan, kind of starting mid-pack here tonight. What's your strategy to get around the people that are in front of you, avoid the people that are behind you, and also you're starting on the outside line, so it's going to be pretty tough for you right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, really starting off in the beginning, I'm just going to try and save everything. Typically, I kind of like the outside lane here just because I have that extra edge on exit, but just saving the rear tires here is going to be key, I think.
How well do you think can you save the tires around this racetrack by not losing too many spots and just having people blow by you, or just, having burning your tires off too much, picking guys off one at a time, and then as the run goes on, just falling backward?
It really just depends on how the race pace is and how fast the leaders are going. Until then, I'll see how hard I have to push.
Well, best of luck to you here tonight, starting from P18, and potentially we'll be talking to you at the end of this deal.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Jonathan Schaefer in the 91 Toyota Camry rolls off from P18.
Field now finalizing the last few minutes of warm-up. While they're doing that, we are going to step aside and take our first commercial break, but don't worry, we will bring you the start of tonight's action here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway live on Podium Esports.
Waltrip, Marlin, Petty, Earnhardt. These are just a few of the greats to add their names into the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway record books. Who adds their name this time around? The All-American Esports 400 returns to iRacing's virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway October 23rd through 24th. Register now at podiumesports.com/AA400. Sign up before October 17th to receive discounted registration for the weekend. Write your name in history at the All-American Esports 400.
Welcome back to Podium Esports coverage of the Elite Performance Industry Super Nationals live from the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Super Speedway. And we are getting ready for the starting lineup. On the pole, Alex McCullum will be your pole sitter, followed by RS Center starting in second place. Third place goes to Ryan Matthews with Grayson Ward in fourth. Rounding out your top six is Dylan Bates and Jacob Harberts.
Timmy Holmes will wind up P7. That's where he'll roll off. My pick to win tonight, Landon Huffman, starts from P8. Jonathan Atkins rolls off P9. Trevor Edwards in rounding out row 5 in 10th. Then Curtis Critchley and Bladen Edwards round out the top 12.
Yeah, Joel Smith down there starting off row 7. Brett Suggs on his outside. My pick to win this race, Andrew Navarro. He's going to win it for his mama's birthday. Kyle Meyer outside of him. Luke Baldwin and Jonathan Schaefer round out 18th.
Starting in 19th will be Marquise Smith, followed by Kevin Amon. Rounding out your top 20, row 11 will be Lee Norton and Kyle Bordeaux in 22nd. 23rd will be John Olette, and rounding out your 24th position is Sean Hayes.
Cade Brown, we talked to a moment ago, rolls off from P25. Kyle Martinson will roll off from P26. Tyler Shattuck and Jack Brown make up row 14. Then it's David Pollins and Josh Caudle rounding out the grid. Everybody else went home. And that's it. 30-car field here tonight.
30 cars indeed here. The sun is shining in the Music City. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, we will see the biggest names in short track racing in the virtual world battle it out for the next 200 laps. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be intense. The lights are off on the iRacing official pace truck, and we're about to turn these 30 drivers here to let them have at it at Nashville. Pace truck will be making that hard left turn out of harm's way here as the field rolls through for the first time in pace speeds. Pace truck is off. It is time to go elite. It is time to perform. We will see as Barney the Flagman waves the green flag, and we are underway for 200 laps here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Here we see the battle for the race lead. McCullum will maintain the race lead on the inside. Holds it, and contact is made.
Up and in goes fourth place. They all just wad him up. That's RS that got up into the outside wall. Center just got moved because the leader got loose. He's going to go from second all the way back to, 16th off the corner. Everybody else survives, but chaos at the front at a short track. Never a good idea here, Taylor.
Never a good idea indeed, Jacob, as we saw that battle there. Now we have a new one. Ryan Matthews in the 51 will hold on to the race lead. He's under intense pressure by Dylan Bates, who gives him a nudge off of turn 4. Down the back front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Once again, 2 laps have been completed, and intensity has risen and electrified the entire field here tonight, Terry.
Yeah, an electrifying start to this one. A lot of people, especially RS Center, starting to sing some old Hank Williams. Got a tear in his beer because he got moved up the track and sent on the lap 1, turn 1. But the one that makes a great move on the outside, Alex McCullum, goes back up to the P2 position in just a terrible way for RS Center to begin his run.
Certainly is indeed, as you're on board with 7th place driver Landon Huffman in the 75, trying to chase down Jacob Harberts in the 80 as they work through turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, it is Ryan Matthews trying to hold off Alex McCullum, your top 2, as they come out of turn 3 and 4. They do have the lap car of Lee Norton just ahead of him. As we watch the battle, here comes Huffman to the inside of Herberts.
We'll see what Huffman can do. Up front, we're already closing in on lap traffic. The 85 of Lee Norton is almost in the sight. Well, it is in the sight of the leaders here, so he's got to be careful once they catch up to him. Landon Huffman takes away P7. He'll shift his sights now onto Timmy Holmes, who's in front of him. Actually, Huffman takes P6 as we've got trouble, and the caution's out. Turn 4 front straightaway. Kyle Martinson is around, and he went up and over here on the front straightaway.
As we just saw the change for the race lead right there, Alex McCullum took over the race lead, but here is why we are under caution. There is the 07 of Martinson. Gets a little bit of a bobble, checks up, and I believe that one car of Sean Hayes will also make more contact. There goes Martins up and over. And I could not catch that other car that he made contact with, but it was a tough break for Kyle Martinson in that 07 as we ride on board with car number 29, Kyle Bordeaux, or actually Cade Brown, is 26, as they work their way through big issues for him, as Cade was able to avoid incident.
A break right there for how this track right here, when you get to the outside of somebody, the bottom car basically kind of has to half throttle it. If you get on the gas too quick, you're going to push all the way out from the bottom to the outside wall. But that tough break to the initial start of this one, lap 9 on the board, I mean, this is just going to get crazier from here.
Certainly is indeed, as we see how short track racing at its finest. Jacob, I got to say, when you saw that incident between the top two on that opening lap happen, I think you nearly blew out all of our eardrums momentarily.
I didn't expect him to wreck that fast, so I thought, they'll be fine. They got down to the first corner, and as soon as I saw the leader start to bob a little bit, I knew they weren't going to make it through turn 2. That somebody wasn't going to be happy, and that's just when everything started to fall apart up front.
Certainly is indeed. Now it's time to re-rack them and restack them here as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here momentarily. We're going to reset the field for you. Alex McCullum was able to retake the race lead here momentarily away from Ryan Matthews. Then it's going to be Dylan Bates, Grayson Ward, and Timmy Holmes, your top 5 after that, as McCullum will have the 1 to go before we go back green flag racing here. A couple of cars are still out on the racetrack, or out of the race now. Sean Hayes, Kyle Martinson have taken it behind the wall. Their quest for a chance of $1,500 gone before we even complete 10 laps here tonight. As you see Alex McCullum in that number 1, he will lead the field.
Okay, so Kyle Martinson, who rolled it, he's out. Sean Hayes is on pit road, still getting work done on his race car. So that's tough for him with the damage that he got from that crash. We'll see if he gets back on the racetrack, but he's now 4 laps down. So it's going to be a long night for the driver of the 49 if he decides to return to the racetrack.
Certainly is indeed, as they now go double file restart here. As the pace truck lights are off, we will go back green flag this time by, as Alex McCullum and Ryan Matthews will lead them to the green flag here once again. 11 laps completed. It'll be 12 laps completed once they come across the start-finish line here. Pace truck will make the hard left turn out of harm's way, and McCullum will lead the field to the green flag once again. Out of turn 4, he's going to hold on a few seconds. Now he'll take off. Green flag back at it, and we are underway once again here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. McCullum gets a much better restart compared to the start of the race, as Dylan Bates will look to the inside of Ryan Matthews off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Side-by-side battle for second, as we see Grayson Ward trying to hold off Landon Huffman as they come off of turn 4.
We keep on rolling. McCullum, he had that bobble on the first lap, but he's been able to hold on to the lead since then. He got Dylan Bates in second, Ryan Matthews third, Grayson Warren side by side. Nonetheless, here comes Nathan. Oh, good grief, I'll get his name right here. Landon Huffman looking for P4 off the corner.
Huffman will take over that P4 spot just by a little bit over Grayson Ward. You see on board there with, I believe that's Baldwin in front. Oh, right there is your on board with Luke Baldwin. Now we go back to the battle for P4 between Huffman along with Grayson Ward. They got the 67 of Timmy Holmes behind. Terry, a lot of things have already happened and escalated quickly as we're back on board with Landon Huffman, turning the car right as he goes down the front straightaway.
Yeah, that's the key to this racetrack right there. We watched him during his qualifying run. You really do have to turn this car right to keep it straight. It's just a product of racing in these to save your tires. You're doing a lot throughout this car as they have single filed out here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and it's been interesting to see where all of these people on new tires go sliding up the track just a little bit, watching him here when he's on the actual front straightaway going to the corner, he's just barely putting wheel into it, and he's doing a marvelous job as he gets off of the track for a second down there below the yellow line. Coming around here, he's going to try to make that move, but you see there's not a lot of people moving that second groove trying to go up the racetrack, so this is going to be fun to see some old school Dale Earnhardt bumpers.
Certainly will indeed. As Jacob, we now starting to settle into a rhythm now. McCullum has pulled out to about a half a second lead over Dylan Bates. The mentality that these drivers should be now thinking now as we continue to log laps coming across the line, 19 laps completed as we're on lap 20.
Well, I tell you what, I've watched Dylan Bates bobble here a couple times in P2. He's getting a lot of pressure from Ryan Matthews behind him. Matthews going to look to the inside. He's going to force his way down in there. Didn't think he had the room, but we'll go side by side for a second. Let's see what Matthews can do here on the inside in one.
Certainly will try that as Matthews will try to get away that second spot and completes the pass off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, Landon Huffman will now go to the inside of Dylan Bates for third. Will he clear him off 4? Not enough. He will get a nose out to get that third position away, but has to fight back. And now Bates is stuck on the outside lane this early. It's not a good idea, Terry, to be stuck out there as we've seen so far.
Reminds me of old Martinsville, when that middle groove, or the high lane at Martinsville, middle groove here, was not a thing. If you got roughed out, you got shoved out to the high side of that one, it's game over. You're going to the back of the line. No get out of jail free card and no passes as the 9 of Grayson Ward. He's making a run right here. He's going to go ahead and get around Timothy Holmes in the 67. Incredible runs so far to see these guys making the runs up forward, and we're really starting to see some people make some passes.
We certainly are looking through the field right now. Biggest mover as the caution is out. I believe Cade Brown is on his lid in that 99. Have to take a look and see what happened here as we get a look at the replay. I gotta say, that VR headset, that's gotta be dizzying.
Yeah, so it looks like he was battling back here with Kyle Bordeaux for P25, I think. Yeah, P25 these guys are battling for, and Brown just came up a little too much. Right here you'll see, I guess he thought that that he'd be running a little bit closer to the wall. Bordeaux would be running a little closer to the wall. It didn't happen, and up and over goes that 99 machine. Kind of reminds me of the walls at Rockingham where you hit it and roll over. That's kind of the way that wreck happened.
Tough break for one of our in-race reporter drivers of Cade Brown, who we talked to before the pre-race, and we saw on the cam as you will see the incident here in slow-mo. Very hard hit to that outside wall, and there's the contact right there. Just was not clear, and Bordeaux unfortunately had nowhere to go. He also receives damage, and up and over does Cade Brown go in the 99. He will get back on all fours as he is now back out on the racetrack, has yet to pit, and will try to continue to race on here tonight. And of course, tonight's race is brought to you then none other by Elite Performance Industries. Of course, this is the Elite Performance Super Nationals. It is your one-stop shop for all things iRacing related. Sim racing apparel, coaching, paint schemes, and setups. Visit ElitePerformanceIndustry.com today. And there you see the website there. Go check out a lot of great apparel, a lot of great paint schemes, coaching, setups. You need it. They have it for you, as we will see the pace truck lead the field under things going on once again. And we also have to say a big thank you to Team 126 Racing for their support, because this race is also presented by them as well. So a big thank you to Team 126 Racing. Without them, we would not be able to put on such a great show here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedways. Jacob.
Yeah, great to have them on board with us to help sponsor this race, because it's been a great race so far. We still got a long way to go, though. We're not even a quarter of the way through this thing. So these guys are just going to have to take it easy. The rest of the way, we're still more than 70 laps away from that green flag, or not the green, is it a green? The mandatory stop. It's on lap 100 for tires. So yeah, that will be under caution. That's kind of what I figured. So, these guys have got a long way to go. I don't think cautions really helped them a little bit because, they'll take you a breather, they'll relax, but then they'll just go right back out there and then throw a caution to the wind. And I think that can kind of be dangerous a little bit where, cautions breed cautions, it bunches everybody up back together, so you make a mistake and you're likely going to take people with you.
Certainly is indeed. As we watch the field now bunch back up, double file is going to be McCullum, Matthews, Bates, Huffman, and Holmes. Your top 5. Make that Grayson Ward actually in the number 9 as timing and scoring adjusts. Pace truck leaves down pit road, and McCullum takes a little bit of a later restart and beats the field to the line as he will lead once again under green at the Nashville Fairgrounds Supersports Speedway as they work through turns 1 and 2. McCullum gets a great jump on the field. Huffman and Bates will battle for third position once again as Huffman works the inside. Dylan Bates still stuck on that outside, can't get to the inside just yet, Terry. These two are going to be battling hard as they enter turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're still side by side. It's good to see that middle lane get to working in 91-75. Staying all the way down here with one another. No room for error at this racetrack, and that's what I love about these old school places. Just reminds me of Hickory race we did a couple weeks ago. Everybody wants to fight for the bottom 2 by 2 once again. It looks like here's a 67. Timmy Holmes is going to have Trevor Edwards to his inside.
Trevor Edwards in that 32 is going to dive it to the inside of Timmy Holmes for that top 5 position as they come up in turn 4. The 9 of Grayson Ward watches on the popcorn position to see if he can find his way around these two drivers. Pick up a 2 for 1 as they come out of turn number 2. Your top 10 single file separated by less than 2 seconds as they work their way off of turn number 4. Great racing action early on those, Jacob.
Yeah, everybody at the front got it settled down for the moment as somebody just got pushed way up the hill. That was Dylan Bates. He got moved up out of the way. I think he got moved at least by Holmes. Here comes Edwards. Here comes Ward. That opened the floodgates. They moved Bates up out of the groove, and he's going to lose 3 spots.
Might lose another one as here comes Jacob Harbert as well to his inside. Will he stop the bleeding effect after Harbert? The answer will be yes. He shuts the door in front of Blade and Edwards as contact with the maiden. Caution is out, and the first major bump and run.
They're still, they were beating and banging there. That got scary. Let's see, that was RS Center that took a bounce off a car there, just trying to avoid the chaos. Not too much damage. Really, Bates got the worst of it with getting turned, but I thought for sure he was going to get hit right in the door.
As we take a look at that replay here, it's going to be exciting to watch this. Here comes Edwards. Boom, puts the bumper right there. Around he goes. A couple more cars get caught up but are able to avoid it. I think other than, right there's a couple more cars making contact off of turn 4 as they tried to avoid that 91. There's the 99 of Brown getting through there as quickly as possible as Space Truck is back out once again here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And we are under caution once again. As we know for a fact that Bates is not too happy, especially this early on, Terry. We expect beating and banging to happen, but for some drivers, they expect it to be later in the going where it really counts. And Terry, how does the emotion of that driver of Dylan Bates feels now regarding this incident this early?
I tell you what, I put the jersey on for Smashville because your boys were in Smashville and you got to expect to get smashed. It's early in the race. People see $1,500 crossing the line. Every spot in the top 10's money. Show me green, I'm showing you the bumper.
It certainly is, but Jacob, we're not even at that quarter mark of tonight's race, and the first major bump and run that we've seen here tonight has happened, and Dylan Bates not happy at all. We got to find that little bit of a balance where, yes, I will bump you to where you can move up the racetrack, but something like that is a little bit surprising to see this early.
If you're bumping this early on, you're probably going to expect some retaliation later on in this deal. That's pretty much the way it comes down to. If you're going to drive really aggressive right out of the gate, you're not going to make a lot of friends, and people are going to use you up as we get through the run. If you take it easy, it just let things come to you through those first 50, maybe even 100 laps, then start pushing into lap 100. It's a lot more understandable to get moved out of the way for a position with 15 to go than 15 laps complete.
Certainly is, as we are just now at 38 laps complete, coming to 39 laps completed here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. As Alex McCullum, as we, of course, want you to know, you're watching all the action live on Podium Esports. But if your brand or business is interested in partnering with Podium Esports, we have a space available for you. Podium Esports has a plan for every budget and can custom tailor solutions to suit your business or brand's needs best. For more information on the wide variety of partnership possibilities, send an email to admin@podiumesports.com. Of course, a lot of great racing action happening all across the Podium Esports Network for a lot of things to come later on throughout the week. As we are about to go back green flag racing here at Nashville underway. McCullum pulls away once again ahead of Ryan Matthews. Holmes will fight back on the outside against Landon Huffman for third place as they come off of turn 2. The 32 of Trevor Edwards watches on in the 5th spot, but Huffman will be able to hold on to third just a little bit longer off of turn 4, clears Timmy Holmes off of turn 4 and holds on to the position. Meanwhile, you see here Huffman on board with him. He is definitely trying to pull away from Timmy Holmes, who's under heavy fire from Trevor Edwards.
And Grayson Ward just got moved up the hill. He just lost 2 spots as well because Edwards tried to get underneath Holmes, and when Edwards stuck it in there, he pushed Ward wide because Ward didn't want to get involved in it. Edwards and Holmes still side by side, door to door coming off turn number 2. Looks like Holmes has the better run on the high side. We'll see what they can do in 3 as we've got trouble again. Turn 2, that's Bourdreau and David Pollins around.
Kyle Bordeaux and David Pollins around. We're going to take a look at the replay of this incident. And I think it starts a little bit ahead with David Pollins as he gets a little bit of a bump up the racetrack. He gets a little loose off of turn 2, and unfortunately for Kyle Bordeaux, had nowhere to go. And he will make heavy contact to the nose of that Chevrolet. As we're back on board here with Kyle Bordeaux, you'll see he's smooth and sailing, and then all of a sudden, right there, has to lock it down, and boom! Big contact. I gotta say, the car right there also, Dylan Bates nearly had a close call as well. If we can get an onboard look at Dylan Bates's angle when he had to go through that incident, because he nearly got collected in that one as well, Terry.
Yeah, Kyle Bourdreau saw the ghost of Christmas future, and Dylan Bates almost saw a pass. What an incredible move to get down to the bottom. Somebody might want to go see if his underwear are okay, because that was close, too close for comfort in my opinion. But these cautions are helping Ryan Matthews, Landon Huffman, Timmy Holmes, because Alex McCullum is in his own zip code. He's in the 615. Everybody else is in the 913. It ain't getting that good for him.
Certainly is not, but of course Dylan Bates dodges another bullet as we are on our 4th caution here for tonight, as we are just shy of the quarter distance for tonight's race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, as we have another great and valued partner to say thank you to. Of course, that's Martin Sports. Founded by Scott Martin nearly 10 years ago in the frozen region of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, Martin Sports strives for the best custom apparel for your needs. Whether you need shirts for your office, jerseys for a local sports team, or specially designed apparel for your sim racing group, Martin Sports has got you covered. Along with shirts and other team wear, they also offer gloves specifically crafted for sim racing that are lightweight, breathable, and complete with padded leather palms. Use code PODIUM to receive 40% off any in-stock racing gloves at martinsports906.com. You can also find them at facebook.com/martinsports to learn more information as well. Also, we have to say, log on to iRacing.com to learn more great offers. Well, of course, go visit iRacing.com to learn more. as we have a special deal going on, 40% off new memberships, and iRacing has so much more great things for you to go and try out. Whether you're a short track fan to race at Nashville, New Smyrna, or more, or if you're a fan of NASCAR to compete at the high banks of Daytona, whether you're an IndyCar fan to compete at at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, or other forms of great racing, go check them out at iRacing.com and sign up today. Pace car has got the field double file restart. It will now lead off of pit road, and here we go. Back underway here. Alex McCullum gets another great restart over the field as we are back here racing at Nashville. Down into turn one, McCullum, Matthews, and Huffman lead the way as your top three. The first battle on the track is between Timmy Holmes and Trevor Edwards. Holmes on the outside will try to fight harder to keep that number 32 behind him. Holmes still has the advantage by a nose as they come off the turn four, and he will be one of the first drivers to make a pass on the outside and be able to hold on. But here comes Edwards back on the bottom. Not good enough to get around him.
Edwards has been trying and trying and trying. He's been close to turning Timmy Holmes around, but he just hasn't done it yet. He's just not been close enough. You got Bladen Edwards right behind him. Then it's Harberts and Ward side by side. That's for P7 right now as the top six single file. Top three starting to break away. We got trouble in the back. Caution. Who is that? Kyle Bourdreau, Cade Brown again.
Cade Brown and Kyle Bourdreau seem to be the two major focal points of tonight here when it comes to an incident out on the track. And I believe they had a little bit of contact also involving the 33 of David Polans as well. As we take a look at the replay, Polans just sends it in there up the racetrack, hits Cade Brown. Around he goes, and unfortunately for Derek, Bourdreau had nowhere to go. Once again, makes hard contact to that number 99 Chevrolet Camaro. And some severe damage to both of those cars out on the track as we are once again under caution for the fifth time. We just crossed the quarter mark, and car 37 of Tyler Shattuck also had some issues. I wonder what happened to him. Did he have any incidents as we take a look? Oh, yes, indeed. He did have some problems with the 27 of Curtis Crutchley as he was getting loose off of turn number 2. Try to save it. Crutchley tried to get around him and unfortunately sent him up into the wall. There's Landon Huffman right there. You're on board with him, trying to get refocused now. And Jacob, the importance of trying to remain focused when you're on again, off again with these cautions and green flag runs, how critical is it to try to remain focused? Yes, these cautions give the drivers a chance to breathe in a sense, but also it also gets them out of that rhythm when you're trying to get into one for a long green flag run.
It's critical that you got to pay attention, just because you can go down in the corner on a restart, forget your unworn tires, and biff it and take out half the field. Is it easy? No, absolutely not. It's really, really tough for these guys to stay focused when you keep having these issues, when you keep having cautions. Now, Curtis Critchley has been disqualified by the officials.
Interesting development happening here as we will get a notification from race control to know the reasoning behind that, as he is the third driver out of tonight's race.
I think it's for the crash after the crash. I think it's for the contact he had with Shattuck, but I'm not sure. Just because the caution was out when they crashed.
That might be the reason why, but we will try to get confirmation from race control here momentarily on that situation. So now 27 cars are out on the track. 25 of them are on the lead lap. The first car one lap down is Kyle Bourdreau. And as we continue on, we want to continue on. We want to thank everyone who are following us on twitch.tv/Podium Esports, who are tuning in tonight, as well as Podium 2, as you are watching the Elite Performance Industry Super Nationals live from the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedways here on iRacing. Pace Truck will lead them all down pit road And we are about to go back green flag racing. McCullum once again pulls away with another beautiful restart. Barney the flagman waves the green flag, and we're back at it here at Nashville. Cars are working their way through turns 1 and 2 right now. Your top 5 separated themselves. Grayson Ward will get around the 72 of Bladen Edwards for the position as they will continue to battle. Your top 10 lines up nose to tail for the most part. The next battle on the track between Jacob Harbert and Jonathan Atkins as they battle for 8th position, Terry.
Yeah, battling for 8th position. The top 8's like the New York Jets, the back end, or the Tennessee Titans after losing today in New York, but they're doing a great job. Everybody single filed, had a great time getting down to the bottom. Not a lot of issues so far. 2x2 racing a little bit behind him. Andrew Navarro's found himself in a great battle too. He's trying to work his way to the front for his mother's birthday, as there was a car in the wall back here.
Certainly is indeed, as we see on board with our race leader, Alex McCullum. He's trying to pull away once again from Ryan Matthews in the 51. He's currently picked it up to about 0.3 of a second right now as we continue to watch the battle here for the race lead as they work off of turn number 4. Landon Huffman right there in the 3rd position, trying to chase down your top 2 as they dive it back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Currently watching some of the bigger movers on the racetrack. John Olette is in 10th after starting 23rd as you're on board with Landon Huffman. The focus, the intensity there, Jacob, really picking up.
Yeah, and you really have to be focused at this time of the race. You know, you're on worn tires, even though you haven't had a ton of green flag racing compared to what you imagined. You still got to stay focused, especially when you're in that top 3, because these top 3 are all pretty evenly matched. Huffman's just barely closing in on Matthews, but McCullum is consistently running about a 10th faster lap.
He certainly is. Last time by an 18.38 compared to Ryan Matthews' 18.42 as McCullum is the fastest car out on the racetrack here tonight as they work off of turn number 4. 63 laps completed as they dive it back down. Cars starting to get a little spread out amongst your top 3. We'll look for some other battles for you out on the track. Let's take a step back to that 5th position here between Trevor Edwards, Grayson Ward, Bladen Edwards, and Jacob Harbert. These 4 are having a stellar battle for that 5th spot.
Yeah, they've been having a great battle for the past 4 laps. They've went around the racetrack, and you see what the 32 is doing of Trevor Edwards. He's kind of bottlenecking it just a tad bit as he goes to the middle, and then he changes his lines in 3 and 4. He goes down to the bottom, and he swings it back up, back to the bottom to get the most mechanical grip off the exit, carry the speed and the momentum down into turn number 1, and then he just goes straight to the middle here. And he's doing a great job keeping Grayson Ward behind him. They're starting to step away. These 3 have moved on to one another, and they're getting to the back bumper right now of Timmy Holmes.
They certainly are. Timmy Holmes in that 4th position at number 67, trying to stay within a good gap of your race leader. Currently, he's about a second back from your race leader, Alex McCullum, but closing in on the back bumper of Landon Huffman in 3rd position as we are now on board with car number 7. That's Luke Baldwin with the Shenandoah Shine Chevrolet Camaro, I believe, as we see him working his way through the field. A great drive for him with that beautiful white, pink, and purple metallics on there. As Mustang, indeed, as we take a look at him working through. The onboard car is really having a struggle for him right now as you see him sawing on that wheel, Jacob.
Yeah, he's having a whale of a time trying to hang on to this thing, as I think everybody else is, just because the tires are worn, the track is really, really slick at this point. The clock isn't moving. The sun isn't moving. The sun is frozen at 12 noon right now. So this track really isn't going to change based off of time of day. And at this point, I don't think it's going to change really on rubber either. What you got is what you got the whole way. You're just going to be dealing on whatever's left on the tire. And that's really how you're going to have to handle these race cars.
Certainly is, as you're now on board with Jonathan Schaefer in his number 91 Camaro, or Camry actually, my apologies on that. He's currently running in that 16th position after starting 18th, so he's gained 2 spots since the start of the race. Your biggest mover still is John Olette, gaining 13 spots, and I think also actually another driver who's not too far behind on biggest movers, Josh Caudell in the number 13, started 30th now moved up to 19th. So a big, great move for these two drivers here in the early stages.
The big move up front, you see that they have Ryan Matthews working his way up here, trying to catch the leader. The lap times for their best time on the board, he's matching him actually. Best time for Alex was an 18.28, and then the best time was an 18.29. And then they just ran identical lap times through that. They both ran an 18.7, and this time, second place Ryan Matthews is running a faster lap time across the board. As we're on board with Bladen Edwards back here in the 72. He's in 7th place position. He has a ton of traffic in front of him.
Bladen Edwards hails from the state of Florida, so looking to see if he can represent that Sunshine State really well here in Nashville to try to get a good, strong finish, or even take home the checkered flag here and $1,500 as they work their way down into turns 3 and 4. As they work off of turn 4, there you see Timmy Holmes holding on to that 4th position in car number 67. Having a strong performance, holding off the rest of the field behind him as the Carolina driver works off turn 4. Big time lose for him as he's able to regain control of his number 67 Chevrolet Camaro, but still a lot can happen here now, Jacob, as they come out of turn 4.
And you got to remember, there's money on the line for these spots too. The entire top 10 does get something. It's just the big prize only goes to the race winners. So not only are you battling for position, but you're also eventually going to be battling for, well, how much money am I going to get versus the guy in front of me and the guy behind me? It's all going to be part of this money deal at the end of this thing that's going to make these guys a little antsy. Up here at the front is almost contact between Holmes and Edwards. Edwards not happy over the radio.
Certainly is not. And just to give you an idea of the big purse difference, your winner gets $1,500. Second place, $250. So a big difference between first and second position. Third place gets $200. Fourth place, $175. And then slowly starts making $25 or more increments, where the top 10th place finisher ends up with a $30 paycheck. So big time money gains, big time money losses if you're not in the top 10, or depending on where you finish inside the top 10. So the money will definitely be an interesting standpoint for how these drivers will race once we get to the end here, Terry. You pointed out, you said you would even take out your own mother for $1,500.
And she's out in the chat. I'm sure she's watching alongside everybody else that's tuned in. I don't know anybody that could lie and tell me they wouldn't wreck their mother. If I'm coming off a turn 4 and I see her right in front of me and I see $1,500 right there, well, I'll take you to supper, but that's about it. We might go catch a cold one at the bar, but you're going to the wall. So I'd be curious to see if we get a late race caution between Alex and Ryan. They've consistently been the two fastest drivers. Nobody's really been in the same spot as them, long run speed and short run speed. But the key for Ryan is he can't let Alex get away too long. He's let him slip away to 1.1 seconds here, but he's matching him on these lap times. But you can match him all you want, but you got to beat him somewhere.
You certainly do, as we're on board with car 32 of Trevor Edwards. I believe back on board as he is trying to hold off Grayson Ward and Timmy Holmes as they were able to get around Timmy Holmes' 4th position. Edwards now moves up into that 4th spot and now sets his sight on Landon Huffman for 3rd as they come off of turn 2. You got 4 cars battling for that 4th position as they head back into turns 3 and 4.
Now these guys still fighting hard as now Trevor Edwards has a mirror full of Grayson Ward. He got by Holmes. Now he's got to try and figure out a way to get by Edwards. Edwards has been pretty much the Ryan Newman of the session. Very difficult to pass. Nobody has really been able to do it other than Landon Huffman. I think he was the last guy to get by him. Now it's going to be on Grayson Ward to see how he can move that 32 up out of the way or cause him to make a mistake in order to get by him and move him up out of the way.
Certainly indeed, as they come rocketing off a turn down the back straightaway, back into turns 3 and 4. Edwards gets a little bit of breathing room from Grayson Ward. Now Grayson will dive into the bottom as he gets loose off of turn 4 and then gets back in line behind Edwards. Here comes Timmy Holmes in the 67, followed by the 72 of Bladen Edwards Camaro as he works his way down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3 and 4.
I'm sure this is exactly the type of racing that the old veterans, Cale Yarborough, Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marley wanted to see when this track went away from the schedule. And we're showing it right here. with these late models. You see the 9 of Grayson Ward trying to make a run back here on Trevor Edwards, but it's kind of I can hold the bottom just a little bit better, and I'm going to hold you up for as long as I can until I can make you as mad. And this is the biggest key to this race, is the car in front of you is going to poke your buttons and make you as mad as possible until you have to use the bumper, because you don't want to damage your car just to get to somebody else's. So they're just going to sit there and they're going to poke and prod at you and hold you up until you end up damaging your stuff and not theirs.
Certainly indeed. Big issue for Bordeaux. Contact. Oh. Caution is out with just 10 laps before the break as Bordeaux gets in the way of some of our top 5 competitors as it collects up none other than one of our top 5 runners of Bladen Edwards, who had nowhere to go. There's the contact. More cars go around, and I gotta say, Kyle Bordeaux might need to consider taking that car behind the wall, as that was just completely unacceptable.
Where are you going to go? You've got a leader on your inside. You're trying to keep it away from him and not interfere with that battle. He runs a little too wide and gets to the outside wall. He doesn't move too much. He comes down a little off the outside wall, but it's not like he's changing 5 lanes down the back straightaway. Kyle Bordeaux was doing everything that he could do to try and stay out of their way. The track just isn't wide enough. I don't put that on him too much. Yeah, he's slow. What are you going to do? Park everybody that's slow? You're going to park half the field. I don't think Kyle Bordeaux is in the wrong there.
Tough break right there for a lot of the front runners. Blaine Edwards, of course, had nowhere to go in that matter as well. He could have probably tried to follow the 67 of Timmy Holmes through that, but unfortunately just was not able to get on the reaction time quick enough there, Terry.
Actually, I got to agree with Jacob Pitts. It's in the realm of hold your line, I'll hold mine. And when a car goes to the outside, it's on the lap down car to hold his position. He did kind of move down just a little bit off the wall, but he did show the respect and the gratitude to the cars that was around him. That's just a product of short track racing. You don't have a lot of room around here, and you just kind of, sometimes people just get in the way at one of these race sections. It's no fault to Kyle Bordeaux, but it's just there's not enough lanes on this racetrack. You probably could only fit 2 mobile homes out here in the trailer park to fit around on the front straightaway. I probably couldn't even get a double wide on it. So
And as we now take a moment here under caution, we've now brought up our in-race reporter, Landon Huffman. Landon, a lot of excitement going on here as we approach the halfway point, as you are comfortably sitting in 3rd place. How's the race going for you overall?
It's pretty uneventful up here. We started 8th, and we were really good in the short run there at the beginning, so I actually thought I was going to have a really good piece. Drove up to 3rd here, and I thought I was a little bit better than they were for the first stint, but obviously McCullum is in a league of his own right now, at least before the break, and Matthews is a little bit better than me. So I got my teammate running 4th here on this restart. I'm coming to, I guess, 5 to go here before the break. So we're going to make some adjustments at the halfway, and then, I don't know, see what we got for him here. It's going to be tough to be Alex, but we'll give it our best here.
All right, well, Landon, good luck to you here on this final restart before we get to the halfway point here, as we go back to Green Flag Racing here momentarily. Pace truck will leave off of pit road, and we are about to go forward here. 5 laps to go here, and before we hit the halfway mark, McCullum gets another great jump on the field, as Trevor Edwards will now move up to the 3rd position as he works his way around Landon Huffman down the back straightaway here. Edwards now trying to see if he can move up to that 3rd position before the halfway break. McCullum and Matthews will do battle for the race lead.
Trouble in the back, guys. We got one on the wall. We're going to keep it green. Lee Norton involved in it. Joel Smith bounced it off the outside wall. We keep rolling them. Surprised there wasn't a caution, but I guess since there was nobody back there, more trouble off turn 2. Multiple cars slam into the outside wall. Pollins, Atkins, it's a pileup on the back straightaway.
Pile up once again here at Nashville Fairgrounds as we see a couple of cars making contact. I have to go back to Luke Baldwin and the 17 as well of Jonathan Atkins, who got together, collecting several other cars involved as we are just shy of the halfway point here tonight.
It's a tough break right here coming off the exit of the corner. Yeah, it really is the calm before the storm across the board. When they come off the exit of these corners, we're closing into the halfway point. Everybody knows they're getting fresh tires. They want to position themselves for what they can do on new ones. They know it's hard to pass here, and I believe they called this the halfway point. Cars are down on pit road getting their services done, but they just want to position themselves to the right spot because they talked about you can't really pass here, so the best way to do it is just to hustle it as much as you can.
Certainly is indeed, as we watch the field now complete their mandatory pit stop. A couple of cars stayed out this time around. They'll probably be coming down next time because they have to serve this mandatory pit stop before we go back green flag racing. Alex McCullum will win the race off of pit road. Immediately following behind him will be Trevor Edwards, Ryan Matthews, RS Center, Grayson Ward, your top five as they race off of pit road. And then we will see about the rest of the field as trouble actually on pit road. A couple of cars looped it around.
It's a parking lot. Luke Baldwin is involved in this. I think that's Luke Baldwin. Maybe no, that's somebody else. That's Joel Smith and Jonathan Atkins that are like wedged together here. And it was, is that Jack Brown? Yeah, Jack Brown was the first one sideways. He stopped because he missed his box and then got run into from behind. And that's what started all of this. My, oh my, oh my.
And with that, several other cars decided to take it behind the wall as 24 cars are still out on the racetrack. Current cars that are out of tonight's race are Luke Baldwin, Marquis Smith, and then Kyle Bordeaux, Curtis Critchley, Sean Hayes, Kyle Martinson out of tonight's running. And we have a couple of cars on one lap down. And as you said, Jacob, nobody is safe here tonight, not even on pit road.
Yeah, it's nobody has been safe. Everybody, this entire racetrack has just been crazy. You've had the wrecks on the racetrack. We just had the wrecks on pit road. I'm choking on air, I guess. We've had people screwed up here in the broadcast booth with me just a couple seconds ago. This race, what a race this has been. It looks like we're extending the caution flag to get people set up. It's just been a wild night, and we're only at the halfway point. We still got just under 100 laps to go. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Terry, we've seen the intensity level for this race has already picked up, and now we're just after that halfway point, so it's just a little under 100 laps to go. How crazy do you think it's going to be in your standpoint and your viewpoint for the rest of this race?
It's going to be like a Kid Rock concert in Michigan. Everybody's going to be partying. It's time to get to the front. You have to go. It is go time. And somebody's going to be a cowboy B, and somebody's walking away with $1,500.
Certainly is, as it looks like they decided to extend that caution for another lap to get everyone sorted out. As we watch on and see here. Give it one more lap. We might see the pace car lights go off. If not, we will go one more lap under caution. And the lights are off, so that means we're about to go back green flag racing once again here at Nashville. We just passed the halfway point, so that means, of course, once we get the field a little bit under control, we'll give you the full running order of tonight's race here at the midway point. Actually, we're going to go ahead and go for it right now. So tonight's race, midway race break, is brought to you by iRacing. iRacing, the world premier online racing game, puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsports. Virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in the Australian Supercars, IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, the World of Outlaws, and much more. Alex Alex McCullum is your first place driver, running up in the front of the field all night long. Ryan Matthews is second, followed by Trevor Edwards in third. Landon Huffman sits fourth, followed by Grayson Ward in fifth. Timmy Holmes, Brett Suggs is sixth and seventh. Jacob Harbert is eighth. RS Center ninth. John Olet rounds out your top 10.
In 11th, we've got Dylan Bates. 12th is Andrew Navarro. 13th is Josh Cottle, maybe. Is it Stauffer? Is it Cottle? They're going back and forth. I'm going to say Cottle. 14th is Jonathan Schaefer. 15th is Dylan Polans. 16th is Cade Brown. 17th, Kyle Meyer. 18th, Bladen Edwards. Kevin Ammon in 18th. 19th, yeah. Tyler Shattuck in 20th. We're still extending the cautions. Terry, bring us home.
Oh, yeah, Jake Brown's going to be right there in 20th. Tyler Shattuck is going to be 21st. 22nd is going to be Joel Smith. You can find us down there. Jonathan Atkins in 23rd. Luke Baldwin 24th. 25th is going to be Lee Norton. Marquis Smith 26th. Kyle Bourdreau is going to round out with your lap down machines. The rest of the vehicles are either out of the race or still on pit lane right now. Taylor, oh my gosh, I'm ready.
I'm ready indeed. And with that, of course, Curtis Critchley, Sean Hayes, Kyle Martinson rounds out the rest of your field. With that, it concludes tonight's iRacing Midway Race Break with over 170,000 drivers on the service and over 90 laser scan tracks and cars to choose from. iRacing is your portal to the racing world. Get on the track today at iRacing.com, and we are back underway here at Nashville. Once again, McCullum gets another great jump on the field. Matthews sits in second. Huffman back in third position as they dive it back down into turns 3 and 4. Trevor Edwards in the catbird seat in fourth as we have a battle for fifth between Timmy Holmes and Grayson Ward.
And once again, they're still trying to get by Trevor Edwards. You've got Ward and Holmes side by side, just trying to get a piece of that 32 as they come up off the corner. That went exactly how we drew it up, by the way. We all anticipated that caution to be that long, and for that just to fit in that gap right there. Holmes still side by side with Ward. Ward will clear him off the corners. We got trouble on turn 4. One car spins down to the inside of the racetrack, disappears. I think they just don't have 4.
It was RS Center who looped it around, and tough break for him as we take a look at the replay. There you'll see RS right there, and loops it around in hard contact to the inside wall, and poof.
Yeah. Now you see him, now you don't.
Pretty much. As we'll take a look at a better angle right here, I believe Brett Suggs might, nope, not Brett Suggs. I believe he just...
Does he even get hit?
I don't know.
He just loses it. All his own.
All by himself as he then magically disappears. So, Jacob, do you believe in magic?
I believe in something. He's been given an EOL penalty. Only problem is I'm not sure if he's here to see it. I don't know if he's come back either, honestly. He's already 2 laps down. He started second. He had that contact that pushed him back. That pit stop kind of helped him, got him back up into the top 10, but I think that's just going to end RS Center's day.
Certainly is a sad day for RS Center, who was having such a strong run, Terry. I mean, he was inside the top 15 for a majority of this race, but now all of that has just gone up in smoke.
Well, we saw him from the initial start where he was up in the top, he was in the top 2. He was on the outside. And him and the leader, we thought he was the only one that could stick with them. We thought of him like Ole Miss, and Alex was Alabama, and we thought everybody was going to stick with him, and then boom, Alabama takes off, and that's what Alex has been doing here this evening. He's just taken off from them. But it's a terrible start. He got in the back of the pack, and unfortunately, it's kind of what happens. Dirty air causes controversy.
Certainly does cause some controversy here. Of course, I think tonight's safe to say, Jacob, a lot of controversial situations for some drivers out on the racetrack. We've had a couple of drivers who were pulled behind the wall because of accidents, a couple of disqualifications, and even some more craziness happening inside that top 10.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that aren't happy, most of them not on the racetrack anymore. But that's just part of short track racing. You're going to have tempers, you're going to have beef, you're going to have people not happy with each other after the race and whine and complain and this and that. That's just the way it is. They may be right, they may be wrong, but that's the way things go. You got to get over it, you got to move on.
You certainly have to indeed, as we now cross over 112 laps complete. This is our 8th caution here for the night, as we should be seeing the one to go from Barney the Flag Man. His cousin Barry is in the pace truck right now, as they were in Talladega last night for the MSRA. They now had to make a quick trip up to Nashville, Tennessee to bring you all the action here, and I think Barry might have led the most laps here tonight.
Yeah, he might have led the most laps, but I wonder which one of them was fastest up 65 from Dega to here. Good little ride over through Birmingham all the way up to the Music City, my home track. Finally get to call a race in my backyard this time. I was telling y'all before the race, we need to quiet these cars down. My uncle's sleeping a couple streets over.
Well, Barry will hopefully try to tell them to calm it down just a little bit, so that way we can get done at a decent time for your uncle, so that way he can get some good night's rest for the next day. As the pace truck will pull off onto pit road, McCullum and Matthews, your top two all night long, will go back at it once again between the two Camaros, followed by two more Camaros of Huffman and Edwards. Green flag is out from Barney the Flagman, and we are back underway here at Nashville Fairgrounds. McCullum gets a great restart over Landon, or caution is out once again.
I don't know what it's for. There's nobody wrecked. And admin didn't throw it.
I think
it's my uncle.
I'm watching.
Let's go check a look at Timmy
when
Holmes.
the lights came on. Investigative reporting. Okay, lights are on here. Is there anybody wrecked at all? Okay, there was a wreck in turn 1. They saved it. Yes, him and Suggs made contact, and that's a caution. Oh my.
It started actually a little bit before that between him and Jacob Harperts as well, and Brett Suggs just made the final blow to help get Timmy Holmes back on the straight and narrow here, as we are under caution for the 9th time.
Only the 9th time?
Only the 9th time. Can we go for the big 1-0? We'll find out.
I'd be surprised if we don't hit 20 at this rate.
Tell you what, though, the fact that he straightened that bad boy out, especially with getting just a little bit of the front end of that machine, was very impressive for Timmy Holmes. He should be able to continue this race with just a little bit of the damage he has to the front end.
Certainly indeed, as that's very good heads-up driving for Timmy Holmes right now. As we want to also make sure we say thank you to all of the followers and subscribers here on Podium Esports that are watching on Podium 2 here tonight, as Space Truck will lead them back here under caution live from the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And you know what? We have some more great events coming up here on Podium Esports, and it actually starts in about 30 minutes or so on Podium Esports with the SimMax Cup Series powered by MPI, live from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway here in a few minutes at 9:15. So head on over to Podium Esports immediately after this to catch that race. And then on Wednesday, October 6th, it is the PCA Sim Racing Series 7 as we head back to Alabama from the Barber Motorsports Park at 9 p.m. You can catch all the action live on iRacing.com/live. Then one of our major world championships on iRacing battles it out in Italy for the Force Dynamic Dallara iRacing Grand Prix World Championship from Monza, October 7th at 3 p.m. Catch the action on twitch.tv/iRacing. We do some more road course racing for the MSRA Premier Series round of 12 from the Charlotte Roval on October 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/podium2. And finally, we crown a champion on October 12th at 8 p.m. The eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series live deep in the heart of Texas at the Texas Motor Speedway. 4 drivers battling it out for $100,000. And you catch the action once again on twitch.tv/iRacing, as well as all of NASCAR's streaming services. Gentlemen, a lot of great racing action coming up here over the weeks. Of course, I am your host tonight, Taylor Burris, along with Jacob Hitz and Terry Radford, our wonderful producer, Mr. Ryan Bauer, our camera provider, Dougie Beard, as we are back at it once again. here at Nashville. 120 laps completed, 80 laps to go here from Nashville. McCullum once again pulls another beautiful restart over the field. Huffman and Matthews slide back into second and third. The battle for fourth between Edwards and Ward will continue as they come up at turn 4.
Oh, and Edwards had a little bobble. That's going to open the door underneath. Here comes Bates. Here comes, who is that? Harberts. He peeks to the inside. So it just takes one bobble. That's what these guys have been waiting on. And Trevor Edwards is going to start slipping further and further back. He's now fighting for that P5 spot. And he's got P6 on the inside that he's going to be fighting for. Looks like he'll be able to slide in line right in front of Harberts in one.
How about Dylan Bates? We talked to him about him earlier. He was running so good, got caught up in an incident early on.
Around go a couple of cars. Big crash on the back straightaway. John Olette around. Atkins. Kyle Meyer got up in the air. Another car disappeared, but was involved in it. I think triggered it. A big crash coming off turn 2. Calamity corner. Once again, it was contact between Olette and Kevin Ammon.
Tough break for John Olette, who was one of our biggest movers of the night. After starting in 23rd, he worked his way up into the top 10, and then there's the contact. Around they go. Where they will end up, nobody knows, as big contact there for the 88 of Kyle Meyer, who will land back on all fours.
It's just a parking lot party right there. Everybody going up there doing the great country song. But to quote Travis Tritt, with 76 laps to go, I'm starting to smell trouble. There's going to be a lot more of these incidents right there where everybody wanting to move one another. Everybody can smell the money like Mr. Krabs. It's go time.
Certainly is go time indeed, and I smelled trouble once we waved that green flag, and I think Jacob really did when we waved the green flag here early on. But as we are now here under caution once again for the 10th time, we are going to take another commercial break, but don't worry, we'll make sure to bring you all the action here tonight live from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on Podium Esports.
Waltrip, Marlin, Petty, Earnhardt. These are just a few of the greats to add their names into the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway record books. Who adds their name this time around? The All-American Esports 400 returns to iRacing's virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway October 23rd through 24th. Register now at podiumesports.com/AA400. Sign up before October 17th to receive discounted registration for the weekend. Write your name in history at All-American Esports 400.
Welcome back to Podium Esports coverage of the Elite Performance Industries Super Nationals live from the Nashville Fairgrounds, back under caution with 72 laps to go, as we will take a look and see what happened here at the replay as we try to figure out what happened here with this caution. Jacob, did you catch what happened there?
Yeah, so him and Jacob Harberts were battling. Harberts drove it in a bit too deep, slid up the racetrack a little bit. Edwards held his line, and Edwards got turned as a result coming off turn 2. Edwards kind of got straightened out when he got hit by, who is that? Is that Suggs? Yeah, that's Brent Suggs that kind of hits him in the front end and straightens him out. But just Edwards, awfully aggressive racing back there, and Edwards is the one that pays the price.
He certainly does, as we are now back underway here. Caution for the 11th time here tonight, coming to 70 laps to go. McCullum, still your race leader, followed by Ryan Matthews, Landon Huffman in third. Grayson Ward, Dylan Bates rounds out your top 5 here. And as we look through the field right now, Terry, who are some of the drivers that you're surprised that have worked their way up through the field here as we are coming to 70 laps to go?
Well, they've done there at the biggest mover so far of this race, hovering around the 9th to 10th place or 11th place position, actually 12th. Jack Brown, Cade Brown, David Polens, and Josh Cottle, all of those guys have moved their way to the front of this field. I don't think they have the speed so far to get up here and make a head wave towards Alex Orion or Grayson Ward. But this is going to be an interesting show if we continuously have mess. And when the melee breaks out up front, they're going to be for it.
Well, we're about to see what happens here as we get the green flag once again here at Nashville. Barney the flagman waves it once again. That arm's got to be getting tired after waving it so many times here as we're back underway. As we are now under caution for the 12th time once again.
That's Holmes again. Holmes got turned around in turn 1. Got some contact from that Shattuck that pushed him up the hill and spun him out.
So 12 caution here with 69 laps to go. We'll take a look as we approach 68 laps to go. Here's the number 67. Timmy Holmes trying to go on the outside on the restart, and we'll see what happens right about here. He'll try to take the outside lane through turns 1 and 2, and there's the contact. Around he goes. Unfortunate for Timmy Holmes, who's had such a strong run, Jacob, here in the early going.
Yeah, it's just things have fallen off the wheels have fallen off the bus rather quickly for Timmy Holmes. It's just he was running up inside the top 5 pretty much all night long, and over the last 30 laps, it's just completely fallen apart for that 67.
Certainly has here in the late goings at Nashville, and unfortunate for him. I mean, he is now out of the running for the chance of winning at least even $30.
It's been an interesting show so far. I mean, short track racing on a Sunday night, you got the best short track racers. Alex has led all of the laps. I mean, we could say, if everybody knows their Tennessee like I do, you got 2 zip codes, 931-615, and I promise you, Nashville's the 615. Alex is there. He's in that zip code. Everybody else went a little bit southern, put the 931 number on their front digits. But this race sitting over, and I could kind of see something happening when somebody puts the bumper to them.
Going to be exciting indeed as the green pace truck will head down pit road once again, and we'll fire back off as McCullum will lead them to the green flag once again here. It is going to be, I believe, 60 laps to go, 65 laps to go to be exact, as they work off of turn 2 once again at speed. Here comes Ryan Matthews in second, trying to find a way as Huffman will get around Grayson Ward for that 3rd position, but Ward will power back on the inside and able to gain that 3rd position away from Huffman as he will battle on the outside. That opens the door for Dylan Bates to the inside.
Bates good, trying to do everything he can. Remember, he was in the top 5 earlier on, got moved out of the way, fell back, he spun, and here he is as Huffman gets loose and almost makes contact there with Bates. They're able to hang on to it, but Huffman, now it's his turn to fall back through the field.
There's Jacob Harburgs as well in that 80, trying to see if he can just shut the door and keep Landon Huffman on the top side of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. They'll go. Huffman falls back behind Bates and now tries contact with the wall. Is able to gain control. A little bit of a bump right there as they try to hold off Andrew Navarro and Brett Suggs as they come out of turn 2 down the back straightaway. And he is not happy. Look at that intensity, that anger you see in his eyes as you watch on board with Landon Huffman.
Yeah, he's got the eye of the tiger going on up there to keep the music references going. He's rising up back on the street, not to put the bumper to somebody's butt cheeks.
As he certainly will try it here in the late stages. He gets right up close to the back bumper of Jacob Harbert as the caution is out for lucky number 13. Cade Brown, unfortunately, I believe, involved in this incident.
Yep, he got turned by, let's see, that's Tyler Shattuck. You'll see the replay here. Shattuck just kind of peeks it down. This is, I think, a lap early. But you'll see it here where At 37, here they come down the back straightaway. He's going to get a good run here, coming down through 3 and 4. Gets a good launch on exit. Gets right up to the back bumper of the 99. He's going to peek to the inside. He's going to send it down in there. And as he bails out of it just too late. And Shattuck has been disqualified.
Also, for those of you who are wondering, there is also an incident limit. Now, for those of you who are new to iRacing, if you make contact with the wall, spin out, or contact with another car, that racks up something called an incident point. And there is a certain incident limit that keeps the drivers kind of somewhat in line to where if they go too much over that, they will be disqualified and taken out of the race. And a couple of drivers, I'm pretty sure, have hit that limit or right on the clips of being on that limit to where they could be disqualified. It's very important, especially in the late stages, Terry, to try to not have as much incidents early on. So that way, if you do decide to beat and bang a little bit towards the end, you have that little bit of a cushion in order to save you in case you are in that area.
Oh, yeah. I know who kept him in the bank, Landon Huffman. I wish we could go back to the shot of his face because the track tip's 138. I think that's about the bullet point he's at, too. He's a little bit above what's going on. Yeah, he's coming up there with some. Yeah. We think we go get a word with him real quick. Yo, Landon Huffman, how you doing?
It would be better if we could actually race a little bit. Then I get screwed on a restart because the caution immediately comes out, gives it to the 9, and then I have to restart on the top. I'm just frustrated. These are supposed to be the best super late model drivers on the service, and we can't go more than 2 laps without wrecking. So a little aggravating, but we'll see what happens here. I think I've got at least the 3rd place car if I can get back there.
Well, one question before you leave. Scale to 1 to 10, how mad are you now?
I'm pretty upset, but I don't know. Not too upset. I guess if I wreck here, I'll just go watch the Sunday night football game.
Well, you're number 1 in my heart, but you are number 6 on the board. We love you.
Thank you.
Landon Huffman, who's going to be starting in the 6th spot once we go back green flag racing here. Pace truck is off onto pit road. McCullum will lead them once again with 55 laps to go. Gets another great jump on the field as they will do battle once again. 55 laps to go. Huffman will try to work his way on the outside to get around Jacob Harper as they come out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, the battle for 3rd between Grayson Ward and Dylan Bates will rage on.
Still side by side. You got Harbert's trying to hold off Landon Huffman. Just talk to him. He's going to peek to the inside and look for this P5. Top 4 single file. You got Huffman down low. Huffman going to try and do his best. Dead even into 3. Looks like he's going to take the spot away.
He will complete the pass, move him up to P5 as they come out of turn 4. McCullum still trying to hold off Ryan Matthews, Grayson Ward as you're on board with Huffman out of turn number 2. The intensity, the anger, he is definitely going to be a man on the mission here tonight, Terry.
Yeah, the little swag he's got in the camera, got the helmet sitting there. He made sure to show the trophies out there for him, to show what he can do on the real racetrack as well. You see him, he's climbed up to 5th. He's started in P8, found his way. He says he has a top 3 car. Speeds validate what he says. He's been consistently one of the fastest cars on this racetrack tonight. At 75, he's going to rocket his way up there, and he could be making some noise before it's all over.
He certainly will try to give it everything that he's got here in the closing stages. 51 laps to go for your race leader, Alex McCullum, who has been on a dominant performance here tonight as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn 4, he has about a 0.2 of an advantage over Ryan Matthews as they dive it back into turn 1. You're now on board with Jonathan Schaefer, who is inside the top 15th, actually in 16th position right now, the last car on the lead lap.
Tell you what, Ryan Matthews has just been 2nd place, I mean, all day. I think he had the lead once from McCollum early on a restart, but McCollum has just been in his own zone as we got trouble. Turn 1, Andrew Navarro's around. He was in 10th. And, oh, man, he just hit the wall. He didn't hit anybody. He just...
Well, he did hit somebody after. Well, he did hit some people after he hit the wall, but mistakes are going to be happening. I mean, Terry, even though we've had so many cautions here tonight, fatigue is going to start setting in for some of these drivers.
Yeah, this track's hard to get around, and most people don't understand it. When you're driving these late models, it is legit like driving a boat. You got to come down in here, you got to sling it around, get back on the gas at a certain point. Half of them has been getting to the gas around the Advanced Auto Parts billboard, and they go back. But they're slipping and sliding. A lot of them are getting a little bit tired. It does build some fatigue in there. I mean, my room's at a cool 62 degrees. It feels good in here with my Nashville Preds jersey on. The tempers are starting to flare, though. I think that's really what's starting to get to them is the tempers. The tempers are there.
Tempers are certainly flaring here in the late stages as we just have passed the 3/4 distance of tonight's race, 47 laps to go, as it looks like one car will get one of their laps back. That's Jonathan Atkins in the 34 machine. He will go from 11 laps down to now 10 laps down here in 17th position. Another car that's actually still out of the track who is not behind the wall, that's Kyle Meyer. But for the most part, looking through the field, we have Tyler Shattuck, Cade Brown, Kevin Ammon, Bladen Edwards, R.S. Sensor, Luke Baldwin, Lee Norton, Marquise Smith, Kyle Bordeaux, Curtis Critchley, Sean Hayes, and Kyle Martinson out of tonight's race. So that leaves us with just 18 cars on the track. Or actually 17 cars on the track, one car on pit road trying to get repairs to rejoin the circuit. But as the field will go through turn 3 and 4 double file, we're going to see who can make it through and survive. McCullum gets another great jump. Matthews slots into second. Grayson Ward into third as he'll battle with Dylan Bates for that position as they dive it into turns 1 and 2. Ward works his way through turns 3, 1, and 2 with the inside advantage, but Bates will battle it back on the outside lane. Here comes Landon Huffman in 5th position, watching and waiting in the popcorn spot. Out of turn number 4 they'll go. It is still going to be side by side for 3rd.
Landon might want to back off because I'm not sure Ward and Bates here aren't going to crash. They're all over each other. Side by side, they almost make contact again going into turn number 3. Ward just washes up a little bit. He's going to push. Dylan Bates wide. He's sideways up on the marbles. Not happy about it over the radio. It was Bates, but Huffman takes P4.
Huffman will take that popcorn position and pop his way up to the 4th spot as they work down the back straightaway heading into turn 3 and 4. Jacob Harbert sits in that 6th position waiting to see if he can get a spot into the top 5 to get a few extra dollars out of turn 4. McCullum leads the way once again over Matthews as the top 2 has pulled away by about 0.4 of a second from Grayson Ward as they come out of turn 2.
You're coming down the back straightaway. I know a lot of these guys are frustrated on the radio, but this is kind of what short track racing brings you out here. And it's no excuse to just flat out maul somebody down, but you don't have a lot of room here. That person on the bottom has to protect what they can protect. They're just not going to roll over and give it to you. We're talking about getting money going on as the battle goes on right here. Here comes the 91. That would be Mr. Dylan Bates. He's trying to get to the bottom of Landon Huffman, stick him to the outside, and this could be the moment of opportunity that the top 3 wants to pull him away.
Contact made between those two for the battle for 4th position as Huffman will try to dive into the outside and hold on to dear life to hang onto that position. Jacob Harbert watches on as he tries to see if he can fill the gap between those two and move up a couple of spots as they go through turns 1 and 2. Harbert tries to follow Dylan Bates for that position as Huffman just battles with intensity on the outside.
This is a really great battle between Huffman and Bates. Huffman doing everything he can up high. Bates is just clinging for dear life on the bottom. Harbert's right behind him as well. You've also got the 32 of Edwards closing in addition here. So Huffman may lose 3 spots if he's not careful. Bates is clear. Here comes Harbert's down low, and Edwards is there. Now Bates slides up the hill. That's going to open the door for Harbert's down low, maybe.
He's going to try, but Harberts can't get to the inside quick enough as Bates tries to slide it out for turn 2 down the back straightaway. Harberts tries to close the door, but can't quite clear Huffman that time. Huffman gives a little bit of a love tap to him as they come through 3 and 4. That could open the door for Trevor Edwards, who sits in 7th position as they battle on continuing here. A little further back, Poland, Smith, and Timothy Hills will battle for that top 10. Timmy Holmes, that last driver in the final money spot, has to hold off Brett Suggs as they battle for 10th.
Yeah, and everybody here that's been moving one another. When you put the bumper to somebody, you have to realize what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you move somebody, expect to get moved right on back. We saw that right there with what Landon Huffman did to Jacob. Got to the outside, and hey, you push me up, I'm going to push you down. I'm going to give you the same thing you gave me. This is going to be given all night. Everybody's going to reciprocate the favor back to them.
Certainly they will indeed. Laps to go here from the Nashville Fairgrounds as they work their way through turn 3 and 4. McCullum has pulled out to about a half a second gap over Ryan Matthews, the biggest lead that he's had most of the night here as they work through turns 1 and 2. Grayson Ward trying to make up ground to get up to the back bumper of Ryan Matthews, but it might be too little too late as they work through turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, things have kind of settled down for the moment. Everybody's really strung out. We're closing in on 30 laps to go. I think this is kind of what at least I expected most of this day would be. Instead, it's just been a lot of accidents, but we only have 17 cars out on the racetrack that are left. We started with 30. I think that's part of the deal here. We're just running out of cars to wreck.
Certainly, 15 cars are on the lead lap. 2 of them are on the track that are multiple laps down. And then Kyle Meyer, who's still on pit road trying to get his car fixed to rejoin the track. As we watch the battle for fourth between Dylan Bates, Jacob Harbert, and Landon Huffman as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Huffman trying to see if he can get back to the back bumper of Harbert and try to see if he can catch up to Dylan Bates and maybe return the favor. We'll find out as they work their way down into turns 1 and 2. Your fastest car out on the racetrack currently goes to Ryan Matthews. Last time by was just a little bit faster than McCullum.
And I like exactly what Dylan Bates did there. Once he finally cleared everybody, he pushed off. He did what he had to do, and he left Jacob and them back here to continuously to battle with the 32 of Trevor Edwards getting up into this mix for the positions. Everybody now with 29 laps to go is starting to pay attention to exactly what we've been talking about all night. That's extra $25. That's a couple tracks. That's a 6-pack at your grocery store. It gets you up there. It lets you do what you can do. I know the winner. I mean, unless something devastating happens to Alex, he's looking at a cold 1,500.
He certainly is as you ride on board with Ryan Matthews in second place. Back up front, it is Alex McCullum, a well-known short track sim racer across the iRacing service, has collected many major wins across it, has competed in the Chance and many top-level competitions. As he works off of turn number 4, continues to lead the way, has almost pulled it out to a second advantage over Ryan Matthews.
Okay, so Jonathan Schaefer's parked it, so that leaves 16 cars left on the racetrack. So we just keep whittling them down one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Harberts and Huffman, probably the closest battle right now. Up here, this is for 5th, and there you see just the focus at Huffman as he's just trying to reel in Harberts and get back by him here with 24 to go this time by.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be intense. We have to also take a look at that battle for the final transfer spot, that final money spot of Timmy Holmes, who holds on to it in 10th. He's under intense battling with Brett Suggs and John Lett. Timmy once again gets loose off of turn 2, but is able to hold on to it. Suggs tries to see if he can get around him here in these closing laps.
You know, his last 24 laps is going to be a dog fight for this 10th place spot. You see Brett Suggs, you see John back there. Josh is coming up into the mix. And Andrew Navarro can get a caution. He'll be right there as well to put himself in that spot for the cash. Timmy Holmes is going to have to be on it. He's been slipping and sliding a tad bit off the exit of the corners, but he's been the most consistent, inconsistent driver so far as he comes around the racetrack, but now he only has 22 more laps to hold him off.
Indeed, 22 now coming to 21 laps to go for your race leader, Alex McCullum, as he comes across the start-finish line here. As we work their way through turns 1 and 2, McCullum has pulled out to about 1 second advantage throughout the rest of the field right now and is starting to run some faster laps compared to his competitor, Ryan Matthews, as they come off of turn number 4. And it looks like Landon Huffman was able to not able yet to get around Jacob Harberts just yet, but he still has enough time here as we are at 20 laps to go here from Nashville.
I mean, looking at the lap times, they're just about even. Harberts and Huffman. Huffman just a little bit slower that last time by. They come to the line. We've got inside 20 to go. Again, Huffman just a little bit slower, just by 1/100th of a second. So it looks like Harberts may be okay with that 5th spot, but Huffman is going to be trying everything he's got, throwing the kitchen sink at it to try and reel in that 5th place.
Well, if you look at it, that's a $50 difference right there. $150 for 5th place, $100 for 6th place. So it's going to be very critical indeed on what's going on here as we watch on the battle for that 5th spot. Huffman looks to the inside. Will he try to put the bumper here in the closing stages? We'll find out. He's got a nose right there. Can't quite complete the pass as they work their way back into turn 1. He's got it right there at the quarter panel there, Terry. He could use that later on.
Yeah, I mean, that $50 gap, that's tickets to Taylor Swift. He seems like he was bad enough to go listen to her. I would see him putting the bumper there to the 30. They raced really hard to one another, and I mean, like or the 80. I feel like he has an opportunity to put that bumper there, and he has every right to. He got washed up the racetrack a couple times throughout the center of the corner. He's going to go send it right back in. I don't think he's going to do it maliciously. I just think he's going to do some old short track racing moves.
Rubbin is racing here as we now see Brett Suggs is out of that money spot. Timmy Holmes still holds on to it in the 10th spot. That's $30 different between Timmy Holmes and Brett Suggs. Of course, Timmy will get the $30. Brett Suggs, nothing. So it's going to be an intense battle right here as they work their way off of turn 4 down the back straightaway front straightaway heading into turn 1. Suggs putting some pressure on 67 of Timmy Holmes.
Great little battle back there as Huffman still can't do anything. Here comes Suggs right in the tire tracks of Timmy Holmes. You've got Joel Smith right up the road in front of him. Ouellette kind of waiting in the wings here, waiting to see what these guys are going to do, but they're running out of laps. We're coming to 12 to go this time.
12 laps to go for your race leader, Alex McCullum, as he leads the way here. Once again, he's pulled it out to about a 1.3 second advantage over Ryan Matthews. But the battles we're watching is that battle for 10th place. Throw in Joel Smith for 9th position as well, because Timmy has got up to the back bumper of him. That's a $5 difference. That's a few extra things you can get as they work their way down the back straightaway heading into turn 3.
Yeah, I thought the 33 was going to pull a Toby Keith and put the boot in his butt, but he didn't do it. He backed it up just a little bit. John was on the back bumper of Brett Suggs. They all kept it clean. The front end of that Lexus just a little bit torn up, but the 67 is going to have to get around this 24 of Joel Smith because he seems to be holding him up through the center. He's not rotating as well as the 67 or the 33 as at this time, so it's going to have to be something where he's going to have to dive it in there, but do it cautiously with 10 laps to go.
He's certainly going to have to try as we are at 10 laps to go here from the Nashville Fairgrounds. Down back straightaway, you're on board with your, I believe that's going to be the 12th place car of John Ouellette, who watches on in the popcorn spot as he sees the battle for 10th between Suggs, Holmes, and Joel Smith. As they work back into turn 1, Holmes puts the bumper a little bit on Smith, but he isn't able to get him around. He's going to move him up the racetrack, maybe try again in 3 and 4. Down into turns 3 and 4. 9 laps to go for your race leader as we go back up to the 5th spot between Harberts and Huffman.
Yeah, I tell you what, Smith, I think, has really been holding these guys up back here, and they're making them anxious. But Huffman, it's still just about dead even between these guys. I think Huffman's just a little bit slower than Harberts, like we saw earlier. So I don't know if he's going to get there. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to send it in there and boot, scoot, and boogie and move him out of the way.
Well, we're going to find out here if anyone's going to be able to boot, scoot, and boogie, because it's going to be intense. It's going to be a fight here. We could see some great racing action in the closing stages. 6 laps to go for your race leader, Alex McCullum, as you're on board with Huffman.
He's focused. You're looking at a determined race car driver right there in 6th place. He has the opportunity. He's had multiple opportunities to put the bumper back here to the 80 of Jacob Harberts, but he hasn't done it yet. A sign of respect, you would say, coming to 4 laps to go. I think the signs of respect are going to go away, and they're going to be singing, "Give it to me, baby," because they want that money.
They certainly do want that money as they work their way through for Alex McCullum. It is 4 laps to go down the back straightaway. A little bit of lap traffic up in front of your race leader, Alex McCullum, but he's going to come through turns 3 and 4 to see 3 laps to go from Barney the Flagman as he comes down the front straightaway, heading back into turn 1.
Trouble, turn 3. Around goes Joel Smith. He got turned by Holmes. It was the battle for P9, and it's going to send us to overtime, guys.
This changes everything now as we are once again going into overtime, and I gotta say, some drivers are not too happy right now.
Oh man, and I feel like that one was on me because earlier in the race I said something about a potential green-white checkered finish, and lo and behold, we got our wish. Now we just got to hope that Alex can hold Ryan off there on that short run. And that's just tight racing.
And Holmes disqualified for that crash, so he's going home. I wonder if maybe he hit the incident limit. I don't know for sure. We'll find out at the end of the race. But man,
tough break indeed. Yeah, that was a admin disqualification for Timmy Holmes, so he has been asked to park it. His chance of even getting $30 has gone up in smoke like that. As we get our first attempt of green-white checkered. We have 3 attempts, so ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy the chaos that you're about to indulge yourself in here as we have our first attempt, as we'll go over the 200 lap mark. Gentlemen, it's been intense, it's been exciting. Jacob, I want to start with you. Your thoughts so far on this race?
A lot of crashing. Should have started with 40 cars, so we'd have, I don't know, maybe 20 left at the end of this deal. We're down to, I think, 13 left on the lead lap. Yeah, 13 left on the lead lap. So we've really whittled down this field from the 30 we started with. But there's been a lot of great racing around the racetrack. Alex McCullum basically has had a chokehold on the field the entire race long, at least for the lead. But second on back has just been great to watch all night long. We're not done yet. If anybody can get close to Alex McCullum, I wouldn't be surprised if the chrome horn gets used and he gets moved out of the way. But they got to catch him first. It's going to be tough.
Certainly is. Terry, I want to come to you. Do we see the chrome horn used on Alex McCullum on this first attempt, or even the second attempt of a green-white checkered here tonight?
I said no, I'd be an absolute liar. There's no way you come to Smashville. No way you come here with a green-white checkered at the fairgrounds with $1,500 on the line. Man, I could go to Garth Brooks concerts for the entire year on $1,500. You're dang right I'm moving them. Put the horn to them, Ryan.
We're going to see if that happens here as the field has doubled up our first attempt of a green-white checkered, as the pace truck will head down pit road out of harm's way. Green flag is back out. Alex is like, show me the money, let's go.
They're already wrecking. You had people running over each other in the back of the field. They're going to keep it green, though, because I guess it was too far behind them. But, man, oh, man. Bring us home here, Taylor, please.
Let's see if we can bring it home. Country roads here tonight as they come out of turn number 4. White flag in the air. Barney the Flagman waits vigorously to get these guys home as Alex McCullum leads through turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Down the back straightaway, he has a 3/10 advantage over Ryan Matthews. And Alex McCullum, well, he's about to make it rain some green here at Nashville. He wins here and picks up a $1,500 payday after winning this race. Congratulations to Alex McCullum, as he is the Elite Performance Industry Super Nationals winner at Nashville. Wow, what exciting racing, what intensity, and of course the most dominant driver of the night goes to Alex McCullum. A very strong win as he parks it on the front straightaway at the start-finish line. Our drone camera just looking at that car, the cleanest car probably out of the entire field, because he did what he had to do, kept it up front and away from harm. As Terry, look at this. I mean, what a dominant performance by that number 1.
Well, you see a little damage on there on the side. You ain't short track racing if you ain't got no damage on it. He put on a great performance. Nobody could touch him. I meant it when I said that he absolutely was in his own zip code. Very proud of what he did tonight. Alex, what a whale of a show, and $1,500 richer. I'm gonna have to get him to loan me a couple $100. What's up?
Well, let's talk to him. Alex, congratulations on your victory. One word, domination here for you tonight. Talk to us how your race went for you overall.
Yeah, this car was bad fast. I just gotta thank everybody at Superior Motorsports. They worked their butts off for this, and glad I can bring the results to them. But thank you to Matthews for running me clean. Good job to Bates. Kyle Martinson had a little tough luck in the beginning, but overall, I brought a really, really, really good piece tonight. But I just want to apologize to our center for the first lap, turn one. I got into one, hit the bump, and it just shot my nose up to the track, and I apologize for that.
Well, we, see, I really got to say you put on a great performance, great sportsmanship for you. Your $1,500, Richard. Tell me, what are you going to do with all that money?
It's probably gonna go in my real life racing. That's what I put most of my focus on. So he'll probably go to my real life car.
Well, what's your next real life event that you have set up for you?
I think October 16th or the end of October at World Finals at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Road Course Nationals.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do there, as well as the next time you compete in the world of iRacing. Congratulations on winning here tonight.
Thank you.
That is Alex McCullum, your winner here from the Nashville Fairgrounds. And we next have up, I believe, our second place finisher, Ryan Matthews, and Jacob Hitz is sitting down with him now.
Ryan, the second best car in the field, all race long. Is there anything you could have done to get by Alex McCullum?
Not that I can think of. Just maybe getting a better restart there. I tried to time it the best I could. I got a few good restarts there, but he was on rails the whole race. He just killed me off the corner, and really I thought those restarts was my only chance of getting around him. I did get around him there at the beginning after he got a little loose on that turn one, lap one deal there, and I was kind of just riding at that moment, and he got back around. He got back around me, and just set sail from there. But yeah, second best car. I'm pretty used to it now. I finished second a lot to Alex, but all in all, it was a great run.
Without all those cautions, and if we got a green flag run going there in the second half of the race, do you think even on a longer run you would have had a shot at him?
Not really. He was pretty good throughout the whole race runs that we did have. I think those cautions helped me a little bit, actually. But yeah, he was set sail, and hats off to him and his guys for doing the work on the setup and getting it dialed in.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish, and best luck to you moving forward.
Thank you. I just got to thank Pierce Trailers for coming on board, and then all my real life sponsors: S&M Auto Service, Pendleton Forest Products, Denise Matthews Real Estate, James River Nurseries, REM Concrete and Seal Coating, Elite Performance Industries, all of my guys at Leduc Matthews Racing for all their help and support, and definitely appreciate y'all for broadcasting this.
Ryan Matthews, second place finisher tonight for the Nashville Fairgrounds. Taylor?
Next up, chatting with Terry Radford is none other than third place finisher Grayson Ward.
Grayson Ward, $200 richer on this evening. Walk through the race. How did you find yourself in the P3 position, and did you have enough if potentially a second green-white checkered was to come out? Could you have gotten it?
I don't know, man. I mean, we didn't have a really good short run car from qualifying. I changed the rear end gear. I think that might have been a mistake, but I mean, it wasn't too bad overall in the long run. But yeah, I mean, Alex and Ryan, I mean, they was on a different level all night. They always are. I think they stayed 1-2 the entire race. So yeah, but there at the end, I think me and Ryan was pretty even, but Alex, I mean, he was gone.
Well, I will ask you, what are you doing with your $200? It's well earned. You going to go down to the local bar on Friday night?
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. We'll find something to invest it in. I'm sure I will. Most of these races on a weekend nowadays, if we go racing, you only get 2 tires. So $200 might cover about half a tire nowadays.
Well, half a tire might be better. I got one here at my house. It's got Jimmy Johnson's signature on it. I don't know if you can use it.
I hear you.
Well, good job on your third place finish tonight, and whale of a ride for you.
All right, appreciate it, sir.
And with that, we'll also go ahead and give you the full field rundown on the rest of the finishers here tonight as Grayson Ward celebrates a third place finish after starting 15th. Fourth place goes to Dylan Bates, followed by Jacob Harbert in the 5th spot. Landon Huffman comes home 6th, followed by Trevor Edwards in 7th position. David Polenz will come home in 8th, followed by Brett Suggs in 9th. 5th rounds out your top 10.
Finishing in the 11th spot, we have Andrew Navarro, 12th, 3 laps down. Everybody from here on out didn't finish on the lead lap. Most of them just did not finish. So John Olette finishes 12th. Josh Cottle finishes 13th. Jack Brown, 14th, 27 laps down. Jonathan Schaefer, 15th. Jonathan Atkins, 16th. Cade Brown finishes 17th. Kyle Meyer, 18th. Kevin Ammon in 19th. Bladen Edwards, who had a great run tonight, unfortunately finishes in 20th.
RS Center is in 21st. Luke Baldwin finishes 22nd. Lee Norton in 23rd. Marquez Smith is in 24th. Sean Hayes, 25th. Kyle Martinson, 26th. He was 198 laps down. Timmy Holmes, 204 down. Tyler Shettick, 204 down. Kyle Boudreau and Curtis Critchley.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an exciting race overall. Final thoughts going over to you, Jacob, about how this race was as we see everything going on, and of course the domination by Alex McCullum.
Great race tonight. A lot of contact. Some of it could have been avoided and some of it couldn't. It's just part of short track racing. But in the end, the best car won, which sometimes you see, sometimes you don't with short track racing. A great night for Alex McCullum. And a lot of fun for us, and I can't wait for something similar to this to come back, because it's going to be a lot of fun when it does happen.
Certainly is. Terry, we're in your backyard, basically. I mean, what was it like to watch some great racing action from your home track?
Well, it's kind of like a hockey game, right? You got the one guy comes out there, throws a punch, next guy hits the puck, boom, everybody, big fight breaks out. It's kind of what this Nashville Fairgrounds does for you. You got the Super Speedway does its own little thing. It's a nice little attraction, but the fairgrounds is where the racing is. This is where names are made. This is where superstars come out, and these late models, quarter midgets, they come to this track. This is where your Earnhardts, your Pettys, your Yarboroughs, the Mecca Center of Nashville racing. I beg of NASCAR to put a Truck Series race here on this amazing track, because we want it. We want it so bad, but nothing but Nashville love for me, and it was good for them to put me on this show to let me see some old bluegrass being played up here.
Certainly was a great race, and as we do that, we are going to go ahead and show you some more great upcoming events. But as we course, a lot of things. For Tyler Payne and everyone at the Elite Performance Industry, for James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, John Theodore at Podium Esports, for our producer Ryan Bauer, and our camera builder Dougie Beard, Eric Messer on social media, and finally Jacob Hitz and Terry Radford, my colleagues in the booth, I'm Taylor Burris. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the 2021 Elite Performance Industry Super Nationals presented by Team 126 Racing, and we hope to see you Wednesday night in Sweet Home, Alabama at Fargo.